Thompson got the new show on MoJo 5-0 coming up. Hopefully you'll join us for that. And as a regular feature, my good friend, my life partner, Chef Patrick Mosier. I mean that in a food sort of way.
I would hope so.
Yeah. You'll be joining us on the broadcast as well?
Absolutely. Every day that you ask me to.
Talking food and business and prostitutes, right? Because you're the food biz pro, and that's what the pro's for.
It's all about cocaine and hookers.
It's all about cocaine and hookers until somebody gets arrested. And then it's about the legal system. And well, you get the point. We'll be talking food and food trends and business. And of course, we'll be spotlighting business, as I always have on my broadcast. But Chef Patrick Mosier will join us, and he has his own platform starting soon on Spoonie Radio.
Spoonie Radio, 24-hour food talk radio.
Can you really talk about food for 24 hours a day?
I could, but even I don't want to listen to myself talk about food for 24 hours. So we will have...
Somebody will.
Someone will be on the air 24 hours a day talking food, fun, travel, culture, and more than anything, food.
Dating today with all the crazies out there has to be nuts.
Yes, it really would. Wouldn't it be nice if there was a place you could go to find people who think like you do?
Like me, like libertarians and conservatives?
Right?
There is. WeThePeople.dating.
Amazing. What a genius idea. This is a site that you can go to if you're single and you are looking for somebody who you know you're going to think the same way, as far, from a political freedom standpoint. If you want to date the right person for you, you'll find them in one place. WeThePeople.dating.
Ship has landed.
Wow. Oh. What a pleasant surprise.
Well, you forgot it was Friday?
I did. It's always nice when you hear this.
Wow.
All right, here we go.
Coming to you on a dusty road. Good loving.
I got a truckload. All right, let's get this thing done. Wow, thank God it's Friday. I don't know how many times we have to hear this story play out before we begin to take it more seriously. And we stop with the politics and we actually focus on the problem. Dozens of police officers rushed to a South Carolina elementary school after 911 dispatchers were alerted to gunshots fired on campus. Dozens of officers rushed there while en route. 911 dispatchers actually heard over the phone on their end the gunshots.
Right.
The fire alarm was pulled. Mm-hmm. They locked down the school. And I don't know how many times we have to hear this before we start approaching.
What happened? I mean, it sounds bad. What happened?
Well, when officers got there, they found out it was a historical reenactment. It wasn't actually.
Wow. Yeah, that can be a problem.
Yeah, no one told the cops it was a historical reenactment of a pioneer encampment.
Those are the kind of things you might want to let the local authorities know, especially if you're going to have what would appear to be gunfire.
Yeah, see, the problem is in today's world, if you're going to have something like this wouldn't cross your mind.
You'd think it would.
They were firing guns with blanks.
Yeah, it would sound like guns.
I mean, if you're just going to have people dress up, kids dress up as, like, let's say it's a Civil War reenactment and you have weapons.
Right.
Without firing anything. Mm-hmm. That would be bad enough.
Yes.
Because even in costume, if somebody's driving by and seeing kids in the lawns out there with something.
Yes.
We've had people carrying umbrellas on campus and schools getting locked down.
For umbrellas?
Because people thought they were long guns.
Oh.
Seriously, we've had people mistake all kinds of things. Not that the person was aiming the umbrella at somebody. It didn't fire. And
Wait, the umbrella didn't fire?
It did not fire. Nope. Turned out, I mean, they tried, but.
Right, yeah. You could trip and fall on one of those, though.
We've had all of those. Mm-hmm. And you think you could have a reenactment where you're actually. And that's not going to be a problem.
You're going to tell me a woman was in charge, aren't you?
Actually, I don't know who was in charge of this thing, but it's a pretty safe bet there.
Just toss that one out.
Turns out the gunfire was actually blanks being fired as part of this historical reenactment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the police chief said, no one in the school told us that they were doing any type of reenactment.
Yeah, you just might want to make a phone call, maybe send a text, maybe an email.
How do you not know? Schools, this is what pisses me off about this. Schools are up our ass about every other damn little thing, thinking they believe, thinking that they are smarter and they believe they know what's best for our children.
Yeah.
About everything. Mm-hmm. They preemptively ban peanuts.
Yes.
They sit around and wring their hands about every damn thing, even if there's no child with a peanut allergy, just in case some other kid thinks that he may end up going to school there.
Right.
Let's just go ahead and preemptively do this. What else can we worry about? Mm-hmm. We've got to ban, we've got to do all of this stuff instead of actually using common sense and logic and what we need to do here, lock schools down. And nobody there thought, Paul, when we're firing guns, albeit blanks, that could lead people to assume something different.
Yeah, but we really have to be concerned about those T-shirts. The offensive T-shirts.
Something that may end up being troubling or offensive or say something.
Or might have a picture of a gun on them.
Right. Yeah. They got that.
Yeah. But not the actual.
They have wigged out and suspended and expelled children for making their hand into the shape of a gun.
Yes. That's a Type 2 replica.
For eating a Pop-Tart the wrong way, that it makes an L shape.
Put your eye out. You'll put your eye out.
That is the level of hysteria when it comes to firearms on campuses. Yet, they didn't believe that firing these as part of a reenactment was a problem. Now, I don't think it's a problem, and it's sad that we live in a world where a historical reenactment would automatically send everyone into a tizzy.
Right.
But they created that hysteria, and then they don't realize this?
Yeah. Belinda says a friend of hers, son got reported for playing with a stick and saying he had a sword. School got on for playing with a stick.
Well, I mean, what type of sword was it?
Exactly. If it
was it a samurai sword?
If it identified as a samurai, then the kid had a deadly weapon in his hand.
Well, it's not just that, but it also could be cultural appropriation.
Exactly.
I mean, so they got him twice there.
Right.
When I was an afternoon radio host on WRVA in Richmond, Virginia, a lady contacted me to say that her son had been suspended from school because he was caught with ammo in his pocket.
That's not good. To have ammunition at school is a bad thing.
One. There was no gun. Nothing else. He had one
bullet. He had
projectile.
It was so you shouldn't have a projectile in your pocket.
Bullet. One Nerf.
Do you know what could happen if that got lodged in your throat? If you swallowed that, if he shot it and it landed in your mouth, and you could choke to death.
He got suspended because, what do you call those that the Nerf fires? Projectile? I mean,
just a Nerf bullet.
Yeah, one of those in his pocket, and got suspended for that. That's the level of hysteria.
As he should have. I mean, inconsiderate little.
And by the way, it's not like he was like, I'm going to take this Nerf bullet and blow up the school today. I'm going to take them all down with this. He accidentally had it in his pocket. Left in his pocket, in his coat pocket from playing the day before. So now, apparently, as parents, we have to frisk our kids every day on the way to school to make sure there's no level 2 look-alike Nerf bullet. Yet. Yeah, it sounds fine to me. Sure, everything's going to be good.
I'm not so sure you would have gotten along in school if you were of school age now.
Oh, are you kidding me? I wouldn't have gotten along at all.
You would have been a big problem.
So yesterday, Brad introduces me to a broadcast series that's been on Netflix for a while, The Man in the High Tower. Is that what it is?
Yes, The Man in the High Castle.
I was watching The Man in the High Tower, so I don't know if it's the same thing.
That was the meth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I realized this is the basic plot of this is, what if shortly after World War II, Japan and Germany actually had invaded the U.S. and won. And
could have been a problem.
Right. What would America be like then if we were living as an occupied state? And within seconds of this, I realized the problem with me.
And it would have been?
I want people to leave me the hell alone.
You'd have to move to the neutral zone.
No, that's not enough.
No.
Because there's another problem with me.
What's that?
F you. F you if you don't leave me alone. And then I begin to get righteous about you not leaving other people alone.
Right.
Because it's just wrong. Stop oppressing people. So leave me alone, and I would be happy with that, where I'm just going about my business. But then I look over and I see you screwing with somebody else.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Dictatorial regimes are bullies.
Yeah, they would be considered.
I mean, really,
bullies.
they
You're
are.
right. Yes,
They are bullies that nobody's stopping. And then I start going, well, somebody's got to stop them. So the whole time watching those shows, maybe most people feel this a little bit, but I'm off the charts with this.
Yeah.
I'm watching the movie going, all right, here's what I would do.
Yeah. See, and you would be in custody. I think that's what they would term it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Would
in
be a
school
problem.
today, I told you, I wore a skirt to school to protest that boys couldn't wear shorts and girls could wear skirts, right?
Yep.
Okay, that was over something that stupid that long ago.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I was right about.
Yeah, you were. I would side with you on that one.
Especially if your argument it's distracting.
Yeah.
When I wore a skirt, trust me,
It was distracting.
it was distracting when all the girls wear skirts too. Look at my GPA. So I'm watching the show and I'm thinking this the whole time. I'm going, all right, beat me and torture me. All right. If I survive, I know what I'm doing.
I'm gonna kick your ass.
Oh yeah.
Let me out of here.
Oh, hey, no problem, Carl. I understand. Just doing your job. I've learned my lesson. Yes. Sig Heil, Wade. How you doing? Heil Hitler. Great. Okay, guys. Thanks. Got it. I'm going to toe the line. And by toe the line, I mean secretly plot my revenge on each one of you that touched me.
Yeah.
Oh, I would have my revenge on them, or I would die trying. Justice has to be served, and that also is going to stop you from being a bully in other people in the future. That's how it is. Sorry.
Passive aggressive has its advantages.
Oh, I would and you know what? Knowing I would likely be killed for doing it, I'd go after him. There's going to be a moment. It's the extra thing about not leaving me alone is the arrogance I cannot get over. The arrogance of bullies. And this is how I look at government and everything else. How dare you? That's at the heart of my annoyance of people who oppress other people is the arrogance to believe that you somehow have the right to do this.
Right.
The look in your eye, that little power-hungry reveling in it.
Your way is better than my way. And yeah, I know. I hate
That
being told what to do.
under someone's thumb. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah, especially when it's a stupid rule.
Oh,
That's
and
even worse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other problem I have with getting along in society. Is I also recognize the stupid rules.
It sucks being aware like that, doesn't it?
It does.
I
Ignorance
wish I
truly
could
is
be.
bliss.
Yes, it really is.
I have the worst combination of those things. I recognize the rules, and I can't let it go.
Yeah.
The stupid rules.
Right. Yeah.
That most of them are, why? We don't have to have this stuff. It doesn't have to be this way.
Well, if it's done it that way, that's why.
Right. And then I can't let it go.
No. And that gets you in trouble more often than not.
Yep.
Conform. Resistance is
I would
futile.
just say to a lot of people, though, when you deal with people like me, it's going to be best for all of us if you just steer clear when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah.
Now, I do balance it with really trying to help people. I mean,
Right.
that's who I am. But, man, righteous indignation,
You're like
it's going to be bad. I will not let it go.
You're like the scorpion. Just if you walk by, just leave the scorpion. Just leave it alone. Don't talk. Don't look at. Don't touch it. Don't talk
It's
to
don't
it.
tread on me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's don't tread on me. Hey, I'm cool. I'm just going to sit over here. Up, rattle. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm just telling you, leave me alone. I'm cool right up. This is going to be bad.
It's going to be very bad ending for somebody.
And the thing is, it's probably most likely going to be bad for me too. But I don't care.
Right.
It's like
Okay.
that's the scorpion. We're both going down. I don't care.
Right.
Justice was served in you going down. Sucks that I had to as well. And by the way, yes, I know that's all bellworthy.
And by the way, Beaver, it's on. Yes, it's on Amazon, not Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're looking for it, it's on Amazon.
Can I put this into perspective?
Please do.
About 20 years ago,
When you were a teenager?
I was about 18-ish,
Yeah.
17, 18. I hosted a little radio broadcast as an audition. I've shared this story on the air. And a guy, another radio host at that station, called up and screwed with me on the air. His name is Steve Cannon.
Where have I heard that name before?
And for 20 years, I have beat him silly on the radio for this. For this trespass. I don't let it go.
Nope.
When I know justice is being served, or I just get a big kick out of it, I'm not going to let it go. And I don't think people fully get that. It's like, I can't let it go. There are just certain trespasses that I cannot accept. And really has to do with bullies. It has to do with people bullying other people, lofting over them, slickering them, scamming them. Scam artists. As I said, I could be a scam artist, not for that little thin moral line. And so I understand how scam artists work. I get it. And I will not let it go. I get it.
Bygones will be bygones when you're dead.
Yes, or they are.
Right. When someone is.
So if there is anybody who has trespassed against me, you better start making amends. No, because I'm willing to give people the benefit of the doubt. Yes, I'm standing in judgment in those cases. I know that's wrong, but you better show me something else. And if you don't, and the arrogance of going, yeah, okay, sure, Doc.
Okay. Could be a problem.
Yep.
Somebody else always knows best.
About 10 years ago, I started at a radio station in Detroit with a buddy of mine. And there was a bully in the office there.
Okay.
He messed with everybody.
Right.
And I became aware of a couple of reprehensible things he did to people, the way he treated people. And he was a manager, mid-level manager. And I turned to my friend and I said, 1 month. 1 month and he's gone. I am not standing for this stuff. I am not tolerant. I don't know how. I don't know why. 1 month he's gone. And I was wrong. In 2 weeks he was gone.
Was this due to some help from you, or?
I didn't do anything illegal, anything nefarious. It was not a framing. I just made sure that the cosmic tumblers were aligned where people were aware of his indiscretions. 2 weeks.
You just don't want to get on Doc's bad side.
Just saying.
That's good advice for life in general.
I wish I could help myself in this somehow, but
it's just
when it comes to that stuff,
it's who you are. It's
it is.
just who you are.
I can't let it go.
And that's
just
okay.
Can't. Sorry.
And Stinky, you're right. I can't tell if Doc Thompson has gone full-blown libertarian or is just a psychopathic hermit.
You know what? I don't think those things are mutually exclusive.
They're not necessarily.
I think there's quite a bit of overlap.
Yes, there is.
Psychopathic hermit, full libertarian.
And there are advantages to being both, quite frankly. If you're going to have to battle the crazies, there's a benefit in being half crazy yourself.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Absolutely. Absolutely. So anyways, I'm just saying, if you are a school, maybe you learn from these lessons and at least be consistent in this stuff. Number one, stop with the everybody out there believes they're the expert, they know best.
Yeah, I've worked with a few of those.
And you know what? The only way that works is if you're talking about best for you. The problem happens when you know best. You know what? You may know best, and you may not.
And that's great.
Most of life is trial and error anyways, right?
Yes, it is.
Well, I guess I'll try this job. It's, nope, that was bad.
Right.
That place was not good.
Fail your way to success.
Right. You believe, yeah, that guy's a good guy. Oh, he's not a good guy.
Right.
Okay, got it. It's fine, trial and error. The problem is when you force your trial and error on me. That's where the problems happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
So,
Absolutely.
little schools, stop with the arrogance of believing you know best what's right for the family. It's not your job, principal or teacher. Your job is to educate, not to educate kids on morality, on religion, any of that stuff, on the green agenda. Educate them on facts, reading, writing, arithmetic, these type of things.
One kid got suspended for wearing a shirt because the character on the shirt was wearing too short a skirt.
Wait, what?
So the kid wears a shirt to school.
He was wearing too short of a skirt?
No, the kid was wearing the shirt with a character on it. It looks like anime of some sort. And the character on his shirt was deemed to have a skirt on that was too short. So he got suspended for wearing the shirt with the picture of the skirt. It's starting to sound like Dr. Seuss.
Okay, now here's the thing. The character on the skirt, or on the shirt with the skirt. You're right, damn it. In a fox with a box, by the way.
Wow.
Okay. It's not like you can even see hoo-ha.
You can if you squint.
No, you can't. I've been squinting. I can't see it.
You can imagine.
And I'm not sure you should be saying squint since it's anime.
That's good. Well, no, her eyes are round, so we're doing all right.
You know, that's just the interpretation.
Same with the hoo-ha.
No, it's not even like it's naked. You can say, well, you shouldn't have a naked character on your shirt. It's not. It's the skirt is simply too short.
Speak for yourself.
Right, that's the other thing. You know what? Ain't too short for me.
That's right. It looks pretty good.
My golly.
This is what's going on in
You know what?
schools
Listen,
now.
come in here. You're couldn't help but notice how short that skirt is. I'm wearing dungarees, sir. I'm wearing jeans. Talking about the skirt on the shirt. Sit down here. Sit down. What's that? Gunshots. I don't know what you're talking. No, let's take a look at this.
But that skirt's too short.
Mrs. Stevens, can you come in here? I want you to bring your ruler. We're going to measure the skirt that is on the shirt. Bring that in here.
This is what they do in schools now. This is the insanity that is the public school system. I just don't understand it.
Then you've got Kansas. There's always Kansas, Brad.
I lived in Kansas.
Kansas. There was an incident.
Oh, no. Not another one.
Yeah. So what happened was a gentleman, Keith Kawamoto.
Obviously Italian.
I believe that's it. Keith Kawamoto went and make sure this is right. I want to make sure it is state of Kansas. Yes, it is Kansas. Was driving around in Culver City, California.
Right.
With a letter combination that on his license plate that
yes.
triggered some people.
Yeah.
It said 442 Jap.
Which, of course, stands for Jewish American Princess.
It just is generic, random generated.
Or just always participate.
He was triggered by the license plate. I'm assuming because he is of Japanese descent, Kawamoto.
I would have said Italian, but okay, let's go with Japanese.
And so Kansas recalled 731 plates with the random letter number generated where it said Jap.
Yeah, because he was offended.
Because he was offended. Now, the way I understand it, he didn't have the license plates. He didn't go in and go, I need license plates. Here you go, Jap. Here's your Jap license plate.
No. Nope.
He simply, in Culver City, California, saw a Kansas license plate that said Jap. And he blew a stink about it.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he did. And then this is infuriating. So he cost the taxpayers money.
Oh, gobs of money. And each one of those people then had to take care of the license plate.
Yes.
Which I'm not even sure they went and mailed them to him. I don't think they mail you the plates.
I think that if people didn't voluntarily turn them in the next time that they went to renew the plates, I think they replaced them.
Yeah, and that could be. But if you're going to go that means you have to take time out of your day.
Yes, you do.
Even if they give them to you free, which I'm not sure they did.
Because
and then it's going to cost the taxpayer money just for the communication and worker bee hours over somebody that is that sensitive to something. How many people in today's world go, all right, Jap?
Yeah.
My generation.
Right.
I mean, granted, I'm only 40.
Right,
but,
yes. So you wouldn't understand the implications.
Right, and even Brad's generation of people in their almost 70s,
yeah,
it still wasn't a thing.
Right.
Jap really faded out with the generation or so before mine. People who actively remember World War II or shortly thereafter.
Right.
Maybe your father, your grandfather was in World War II or were alive and, survived rationing and all of that stuff, where people would go, all right, we're going to beat the Japs.
Right. And didn't he say even that nothing bothered except the J word, he called it.
The J word?
The J word.
Had you asked me what the J word was, it would have taken me a lot of guesses.
Yes, exactly. So this is just insanity.
I would say, if you had said Jap, I'm just as inclined to say Jewish American princess.
Yes, that would be the first thing that would come to my mind.
If this guy had called me or stopped in and said, all right, listen, it's a problem. I saw a license plate say Jap on it. I'd be like, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were female.
Right.
I didn't realize that you're Jewish. I'm sorry. That's
yeah. You could be offended at anything, at any combination of letters.
Can you imagine if it's a person of Japanese descent that also happens to be Jewish?
That's like
and female?
That's like that's the samurai sword cutting you both ways is what that is.
So this is, I guess you can't stop there, though.
No.
Because some states have gotten rid of, they've already done like XXX.
Oh, yeah.
Or ass.
Yeah, or WTF.
And, WTF was the most recent one where they said, we can't have WTF on license plates.
Yeah.
Because some people believe or know that it stands for, in some communities, what the F?
Right.
Okay.
Or what the freak.
A MoJo for every state. MoJo 50.
I'm Mike Opelka from PureOpelka.com. Here's your 2-minute drill. The mainstream media just could not resist the opportunity to slam Donald Trump even at the funeral of George H.W. Bush.
But what becomes undeniably obvious with every bio run about Bush 41 is that stark contrast between these two men.
Donald Trump is 180 from who George H.W. Bush is.
The world looked to George Bush because he was a leader respected. He had proven himself. This president has yet to do that.
This president that we have now is trying to unravel everything that he did and Obama did.
I think he's doing this because he feels he has to do it. I can't help but wonder if there was a thought bubble over Donald Trump's head just now, what he was thinking.
I have to imagine he was thinking, how much longer do I have to stand here?
We may not approve of this current president, but that doesn't diminish one's respect for the office.
Because there are a lot of things about George H.W. Bush that maybe people now appreciate that they didn't appreciate at the time.
And it just gives you a sense of the big character of the man and the contrast with the small character we see today.
George Bush believed in the institutions of government, which I think, too, is another reason why this moment to remember and to compare and contrast is so important, because our institutions are so under siege right now by the government itself.
And that is why we celebrate George H.W. Bush's legacy and fear the next 2 years of Mr. Trump's wild White House ride.
Get over yourself, Mika. Testudo, my friends. Testudo.
Mike Opelka's 2-minute drill is powered by MoJoWildRice.com. Their wild rice is a superfood, gluten, sodium, fat, and cholesterol-free, yet high in fiber, protein, zinc, phosphorus, and trace minerals. But you're going to love it because it's delicious. MoJoWildRice.com. MoJoWildRice.com.
All right, communiques now. And by the way, I had a couple people post on social media about us taking phone calls. And I was like, yeah. We've taken phone calls in the past, and we likely will be again on this, not just our show, but on the Conservative Cartel, which they have in the past, and we got Brandon Morris now as well. Yeah, some of the other shows take them. We will do more.
They just call them and say stupid stuff. I mean, why do you want to do that?
Because that's less blah, blah we have to say. They're doing our job for us, man.
Oh, that's a good point. Can we get those phones working real soon? Because that would be nice.
Just think about this. Mm-hmm. This is like, it's like you being in a restaurant and somebody going, hey, do you mind if I just bust the table myself? Listen, busboy.
Okay.
You would be like, no, sit down. I'm a professional.
Mm-hmm. No. I'd let them do it.
Hey, you mind if I come in and just cook that steak up myself?
Can I come in and clean your house? Sure.
Absolutely. Go ahead and do that or whatever.
I'll sit on the couch. But yes, that's a great idea. Let's get the phones working. Tainted, moist, and sweaty meat sleeve.
Tainted, moist, and sweaty wet sleeve.
Meat sleeve.
Meat sleeve.
What was his tweet? Just the name was good enough. And the moral of the story is don't piss off Doc Thompson unless you're a Korean woman.
Right, exactly.
Okay, I can see that. Fight fire. Today's motto for my motto for life is fight fire with fire or madness. That works. And forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass. Thank you, Stephen English. I was trying to actually think of that.
Right. You know, I'm admitting that.
And you should. But it's hard.
It is.
It's very hard.
Difficult. Yes.
Yes,
it is difficult for me.
Mm-hmm.
I did. Where I end up really failing it because
it's the whole forgiveness part.
No. I'm actually pretty good at that. It may still annoy me. I don't forget the stuff, but okay, fine, whatever.
You're supposed to forgive and forget. Turn the other cheek.
Where I have trouble is when I know that somebody who has wronged me is wronging other people, especially in a similar vein.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Seriously, that's where I really cannot get over it.
Okay.
Because I go, look at them, they're doing this to other people. Well, like, because on the show, if I've done something that's been successful, I'm like, oh my gosh, I found this really cool thing that helps whatever.
Right. Imagine that.
Right.
Just imagine.
Where I'm like, hey, I found this cool thing. Why don't you go do that?
Right.
I'm always trying to tell them, like, hey, you should try this. It saves you money. It's whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I do that. That's part of the reason we focus on that when we have advertisers. It's like, hey, here's something that's going to save you money, make your life a little bit easier. Life hack sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of like that anyway. So if I see somebody that's preyed on me and I'm really pissed and it's difficult to get over and I'm like, okay, just, move on.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see him screwing with somebody else, especially vulnerable people or more. Then I'm like, oh.
You're morally obligated to stop that before it happens.
I don't know if I'm morally obligated, but I feel like it.
And there's the justification. And Rocky.
And maybe, honestly, and you know what? Maybe that is my justification. Maybe the lines are blurred. I'm admitting all that, but that piece I can't get over.
Sorry, so no WAP on license plates either. And actually, Rocky with an I, no, that was the other part of the story. Is DoJo and WAP? You cannot put those on a license plate.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. You can put yes, you can put beaver on a license plate.
I hate the license plate police.
Yeah, I mean, you can be offended. You can make anything offensive.
Do we, in today's world, when you think about governments, think about your local government, definitely your state government, because they handle license plates, and the federal government in general, the same idea. Do you think we, at this point, have the time or energy, money, to be worrying about what people put on their friggin' license plates?
We've solved all the other problems.
Having solved all other problems, we're now looking at your license plates. I would think in whatever state you're in, by that I mean what U.S. state, geographical state, not state of inebriation this morning, you could probably look around and think that there's some other things that need prioritizing in your state.
You'd think.
How high would you prioritize license plates policing?
Somewhere near the very, very bottom. Very, very bottom.
I'm serious. We've got to start. So your state is paying people to worry about this stuff. Blue-haired old ladies that are sitting at your state capitol going, well, I think that could be offensive.
I don't know if this one's real, but someone got real creative with the Florida license plate because apparently it says family first at the bottom. So they had their... And that I can see where they would get away with it.
Yeah, Virginia did the same thing. There was one in Virginia that's the same thing. You know where they say they put little messages at the top, like it could be a school, or they have specialty ones for cops or families. That's what they did in Florida. Explain.
It says Florida at the top of the plate. In the plate, I guess the vanity part of the plate is the family first. So whoever's license plate this was.
Well, you have to explain the bottom. So on every plate, if you get the family first one, it says Florida at the top, and at the bottom it says
family first.
Family first.
Mm-hmm. He had, whoever this is, had his as the vanity part. Eat the.
So when you read it top to bottom, it says eat the family first.
Right.
The Virginia one was similar to that. But it said Virginia, and it says eats the family first. So it says even the state does. It was more to the state.
There's another interesting Virginia one because alone, if you just had the plate,
Gina. Well, if you're a Virginia fan,
right,
and you get because you have like you could have a Harvard license plate or Ohio State, whatever. They had the Virginia, so you had the big V for Virginia.
Sure.
And is that Virginia Tech? I think that's Tech. Or is that UVA?
It just says UVA. It's a UVA.
That's UVA. So it has the big V off to the left. And then they had Agina as the vanity part. So it spells.
So, but again, they wouldn't that wouldn't be caught by any filter at the state level because it looks like Agina. That's the vanity. That's the only. I just want Agina on my plate. I just happened to order the part with the V first.
So what you have these now. What do you call it? Metrics in place where it can catch this stuff. Analytics. Where if you type stuff in, they know, okay, ban any or question anything that has ASS together.
Right.
And ban, if it has JAP now, you put that in there. But outside of that, you have all of these blue hairs that are up there, and I say that metaphorically, and maybe literally, that are scrutinizing this stuff. It's like the guy with the hanging Chad. They're looking at the plate and going, I don't know, Gladys, how does this look to you? Can you find anything that's troubling here? You have some people that have spelled things backwards. So if you're looking in your rearview mirror and they have a front plate, it actually says that stuff backwards.
ILUVANL.
Well, and stuff like that they don't understand.
Right.
They make you explain it to them.
I love Anna Navarro Longfellow. She was a fabulous author, and I read all of her books.
A lot of times they don't know what the troubling part is because they don't know young slang or something like that. They just know it looks weird. So what is it you love? I don't understand ANL. What is it? And then they come up with, right?
Yes, and then you just make something up. In high school, a friend of mine had the license plate Groids, GROIDS. Get rid of inadequate D suckers.
Okay, that seems like a bit of a stretch there.
It worked.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's common, though. That's one you have to explain to everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the smart ones.
The problem is this is not a priority. What are we screwing around with this stuff for?
Exactly.
Why is our taxpayers going to this?
Right.
And if you're saying right now, well, Doc, I don't think, because I just say put it out there. You want a personalized license plate? Pay for it. Well, what if people put the F word on their license plate? Think about that, Doc. You're driving down the road and someone puts something really disgusting on their license plates, whether it's disgusting because it's sexually graphic and children will see it. What if they put something that is racially insensitive?
Right.
And I would say, okay, can't I do that anyway on my car?
Yeah, you can stick anything right there on the bumper next to your license plate.
So you're telling me the state is regulating what you put on the license plate, but right next to it, I could put a sign, and you see bumper stickers all over that are pretty graphic.
Yeah, exactly.
So your kids see that. What the hell's the difference? All it is we're paying for people to scrutinize this stuff.
Yeah.
So if you still think it's a problem, then say nobody gets vanity plates.
Yeah. Well, they couldn't do that because that's a revenue source for the state. You see, then you're messing with their money.
Winner.
That's what it is. All follow the money.
If you do want a revenue source, I've given the states this idea in the past. Say you can have a vanity plate for whatever it is, an extra $50, whatever they charge you for it.
Right.
And it varies by state. How about this? For $500, you can completely design your license plate. Put whatever picture you want. Got to have certain parameters, like down in the bottom corner, it's got to have the little thing to see if you're registered or your tags are up to date. And at the top, it has to have the state or something like that. The rest of it, it's like the cakes where you can put a kid's picture on it. You do any out of frosting?
Sure.
Let them do whatever they want. You want to have your kid's face on it? You want to have your dog or whatever it is? Why not do it? Make it like the wallpaper on your Facebook.
Yeah. Sure, why not?
Or the header, right? And by the way, you could have a header put on there.
Yes, you could. You could do...
and charge an astronomical amount.
Yes, and that's the thing. States, governments in general need new revenue sources. Let people voluntarily pay for this stuff. Don't stick it to everybody in their taxes.
And listen, you want it? It's $1,000. You'd get a bunch of people doing that.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
There's one guy had... Now, this guy's truly an idiot in Ohio, had the vanity plate Cops Lie. Well, that's a smart one to put on your license plate.
Yeah, and if you're at the state, go ahead and let them do that. They'll be changing that themselves.
Well, yes, I was going to say that's another great revenue source for the state. Let him put it on there. He's going to. It doesn't matter what the slightest infraction, he's going to be paying for.
I wouldn't think you'd get the benefit of the doubt.
No, you wouldn't.
Well, you were only like 2 miles over.
Yeah.
Maybe I can look the other way.
Yeah, no, you're getting the ticket and you're going to traffic school and you're paying the fine. And yes.
And by the way, couldn't help but notice your vehicle looks like it's not safe.
Well, they don't, see, what the cops would do if I were them is I would make sure that I wouldn't write him up for everything at one time.
No,
leave something for tomorrow. Leave something for this afternoon. You don't want to write it up all at once.
Hi, I'd like to change my license plate.
Would you like to change it to?
Well, I currently have COPSLIE.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's Latin. It's a family motto.
Right.
But what I'd like to change it is COPSDONTLIE. I want to put DONT right in the middle there.
That's we can probably accommodate you for that.
Put that in there. I mean, I thought about doing something completely different, but I think it's imperative right now that I have that don't put in there.
Can we change it today?
And by the way, I'd like to get a specialty plate. I want the FOP one.
Yes.
Where a little portion goes to the Policeman's Benevolent Fund.
$2,000 additional. They could rack up.
Is there any way I could also just throw some extra money into the Cops Benevolent Fund and have that reflected on my plate? Maybe buy 2 plates. Could I do that?
Amazing what that would get accomplished.
Actually, you kind of can do that a little bit.
You can with charity magnets. That is a great suggestion. If you really want to give yourself, number one, maybe
you want to give yourselves number one.
You could get that on the vanity plate.
Like the president.
See? Exactly. If you go to charitymagnets.com, you'll not only find magnets, but you'll find all sorts of adornments for your vehicle, your pet, your refrigerator, even your keychain that not only do they look great, they're also doing something good in the world. They benefit a charity called Cops for Kids with Cancer. And again, we are how many days away from Christmas? Very few. You probably have just enough time if you go there today and order some of these things to get them in time for Christmas. My favorite, though, is the little badge you can get for your license plate frame that bolts onto the frame. I support my local police. I mean, take every advantage that you can possibly grab when it comes to driving on our roadways and possibly I'm not going to say you're going to get out of a ticket. I'm just merely suggesting.
Given the gray area, you're probably the benefit out's going to go your way.
Yeah, it most likely will.
I'm going to help you out. What they should also do is these charity magnets should also come with a good line of BS.
So if you do get pulled over, that's just the first line you should say.
Well, let's say you have the policeman's license plate where he supports cops.
I support policeman's balls.
That's right. And then you have the charity magnets. They may say, "Oh, are you a cop?"
They might.
Or I couldn't help but notice your charity magnets are. It's pretty cool, and I'm a cop. If that comes up, you're going to want to have an answer.
And
what you don't want to blurt out is, "I'm just doing that to get out of tickets."
Right? No. You don't.
And you don't want to go, "Oh yeah, I support it." This is an opportunity, and you don't want to lie. So you don't want to say, "Yes, I'm a cop." What you want to say is something like, "Officer, I just think you guys are putting your life on the line every day, and my grandfather was a cop."
Right. Yes.
Okay, slight lie, or
more of a,
I'm really close with some cops.
Think of it as a fantasy, not a lie.
How about this? I always wanted to be a cop. I'm just not smart enough.
Yes.
I'm not good enough.
And by the way, you look really nice in that uniform. If you throw that in too, it always works. CharityMagnets.com. It's a way to, well, let's face it, if you want every advantage that you need on the road today and to help a great charity, Cops for Kids with Cancer, it's CharityMagnets.com.
I've told the story before. I was driving in southern Ohio, and the best or worst, as you may put it, vanity license plate was, and it just said, MR space KY. I'm assuming he was from Kentucky.
Or he was or he could have been a slippery guy. Marky?
Listen, just an announcement to make. Your lights are on in the parking lot. It's the blue Ford. I'm looking for Mr. KY. Mr. K. Hello, Mr. KY. Your lights are on. License plate MRKY. Mr. Backdoor Love. Is he Mr. Lube? Maybe you couldn't fit the whole thing on the plate and you went with KY.
It's possible.
Is it something like that?
You know, if you get DNO7BWI upside down, it's I'm blonde.
And oh, by the way, why are you doing this anyways?
Just for fun. That's what vanity plates are. Is just for
vanity
fun.
State plates are stupid. By the way, you know why they're stupid?
Why?
Because I got to pay more for them.
Well, they're not stupid if you have the money.
No. There's only one. Because where's that money going?
To the state.
Yes. I don't have the money for the state. If I was sitting right now on $127 billion, if I had $500 billion where Bezos is going, yes, Mr. Thompson.
Right.
And you said, all right, the vanity plate's 1 cent more and it's going to the state. No. I'm not giving any more money to the state, not one stinking penny.
Yeah.
I would gladly spend millions screwing with the state. But to give them 1 more cent, absolutely not. I've said this before. I could get randomly generated the plate that says, Doc's mom's a whore. Well, for 1 cent more, you could get a plate that was, something a little more generic, less offensive. And I would say, you're not getting 1 cent more.
I'll leave the plate the way it is. That's a good one, too.
Yeah, I would not. Sorry, I'm not giving you any more money.
Well, they spend it wisely. It's not like they waste it on stupid stuff.
They waste it on stupid stuff like the blue-haired people trying to figure out if this stuff's offensive. I'm not giving you anything else.
There's
only one reason to have vanity plates. And there's some people right now screaming about it. There's only one reason.
What's the reason?
So you can remember what your license plate is.
I disagree. I think it's so you have a personal.
No.
It's. Why do you choose a certain color of car? Because you like it. Because
cheap.
That makes you a little different.
No, I'm serious. Okay, given the option, all right, you're buying the car anyways. Do you want the blue one, the black one, the silver one, the whatever? Okay, I guess I'll get that one. But usually that decision isn't made by me anyway. It's what's cheap. Okay, listen, here's this, we give you this beautiful black or white or silver car.
Right.
It's $30,000. We have one here we've not been able to sell, and it is baby poop color. I don't know.
See, I couldn't do that.
And it's $10,000 cheaper.
No, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I
couldn't do it.
Even if it was cost prohibitive to have it repainted, doesn't matter. It's mine. I'm done.
The best color.
Oh, by the way, we'll shave off another $1,000 if you don't take off the bumper sticker that's on it that says Doc's an a-hole. Okay, done.
If you get the best color to buy is gray, gray or a dark gray. Blends right in with the road. You never get a ticket. Put charity magnet on that. Your odds of getting a ticket go way, 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 way down.
Yeah, very, very frustrating on this stuff. I don't need the state worrying about this stuff. How about getting back to work? And get back to work, I mean, saving us money and getting out of our lives. This is not getting out of our lives. And to the gentleman who's so triggered by this, the jap on it, why would you allow something like that to trigger you? Why would you allow a word
He's a media
that
whore.
obviously was randomly generated? And his statement was that derogatory racial slurs don't have a place anywhere.
Right. But again, that's an opinion. The word Jap does not have to be a racial slur.
Right. As we've known, it could mean anything. But the other thing is, maybe it's your initials.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, that
Justin
have nothing.
Allen Peterson.
Done.
So.
But let's say it is a racial slur. They don't have a place anywhere. I disagree. I think they have a place, all kinds of places. They have a place with people who want to be racist, and isn't it their right to be racist?
Yeah.
Not to infringe somebody else's rights, whether it's based on racism or something else.
Right. Yeah. Your right to be racist stops at the
infringing somebody else's rights.
Yeah.
Let me put that in a different perspective, or explain it a different way. Do people have a right to do some things that are immoral as long as they're not illegal?
Sure.
Because a lot of people say something is immoral that someone else says isn't, or don't care if it's immoral. Same thing. Racism, if you are, being a racist, believing that certain races are better than others and certain people aren't as smart and all of this stuff, is immoral. However, it's not necessarily illegal.
Correct.
Therefore, it has a place with those people. It has a place in humor, if you're using it as a punchline.
Yeah.
It has all kinds of places.
And that's where we've lost it. It used to be acceptable. That was where it was funny. That was where you got all the different, you got the Polish jokes.
And
you got all of that, and people could laugh at themselves and laugh at others.
If this guy had brain one in his head, he would realize that the more you try to stop this stuff, the more power you give the word. The word has almost died out. And now you're going to remind people. You're going to show them that this word is troubling. You're going to give it power.
What do you want to bet if you met this guy? He's an a-hole. He's just a loud, obnoxious. A friend of mine's dad is that way. He couches all of his quote-unquote civic activity and civic duty as doing something good for other people, when in reality, he's just an a-hole.
I know a guy like that.
And they get off on just on showing the power that they have.
Right. Because it's victimhood. It's also a little bit of power. I mean, that's who they are
it's
with
a lot
this
of
stuff.
power.
Right. No, you're giving it power. You're making these words have power. If you go to somebody that's 17 and you go, racial slurs, yes or no? And you lay out an N-word over here and you listen, Jap, race, no. They're going to say yes?
How is it racist anyway?
It's an abbreviated term for Japanese.
Correct. And why? How does that become? When did the first three letters of Japanese become racist?
Right. And by the way, that's also a country. It's not a race.
Right. And Larky Farkin brought it up. Still not sure how Jap is a racial slur. It's the first three letters in the word Japanese.
Well, but even, right, and he's right about that. But even if you say, well, it's because Japanese is not a race, but Japanese people are, I would say, exclusively Asian. Are there any non-Asian Japanese citizens? If there are, I would think it's a handful, right? And would you recognize Japanese people as almost primarily being Asian? So in other words, if I said, tell me the race of people in this country. Ready? Zimbabwe, go. Primarily, they are
black.
Okay. Korean, go.
They'd be Asian.
Japanese.
Asian.
Same thing, right.
Yes.
Okay. So if that's the argument, then what I would say is, why do you bag on America, leftists? You're saying it's racially offensive to use Jap.
Right.
Because Japanese people are primarily Asian. Yet in America, if you say, go, what is the race of Americans?
Caucasian.
Caucasians, right. I certainly am Caucasian.
Yeah, me too.
But if you did that, even if people reacted white, Caucasian,
right?
Would it be a white? Most people would be like, white. Oh,
No.
well,
it's a melting pot. That's the beauty of America.
even people that answered quickly, white, there'd be most would probably be, well,
gotcha. European.
Showing that Americans are actually less racist and that we are more diverse, and yet these people are still troubled by this. Stop giving these words power.
That's
by saying we can't or shouldn't or do. Let the stuff fade out. Get over it and go about your business. This guy got this pissed off and troubled over a license plate. How good is your life today?
Right.
How good is your life in America? And his argument is He's first generation, and his grandparents or parents, one of the two, were put into an internment camp in the U.S. during World War II.
Mm-hmm.
That's horrible.
Yes, we used to drive by Manzanar on our way to Mammoth Ski Resort all the time, and it's still the foundations of the building are still there, and it's a reminder.
You know how he could have looked at this? He could have saw Jap and said, "Wow, it's amazing." A word that people used to know during and shortly after World War II that was, I guess, a racial or derogatory term toward Japanese people has almost died out.
Right.
That's amazing. And by the way, amazing that I, a Japanese American, am not only in an internment camp, but most people recognize what happened to my grandparents was wrong. And look at me. I live in a place now. We have come so far that I get to be an asshole and make a stink about a license plate.
Yeah.
That's how good my effing life is.
Yeah.
That's how you're supposed to think about this stuff.
Yeah. If you had come out back then against the word Jap, they would have you'd be
back in the internment camp.
Beaten.
Yeah.
And then in the internment camp. But now you can actually that's where people are missing the point.
It's all perspective. Stop it, knock it off, get back to your life. If you have the time for this nonsense, your life is better than mine.
Yeah.
All right, get some communiques. It's at Doc Thompson Show, at Real Brad Staggs, at Mojo 50 Radio.
My mom, Al's Box says, my mom returned random plates that came out something like 463 hick because she didn't like the hick part.
I'd take those.
I would wear that proudly.
Absolutely.
That would be, to me, that
every time I was at the gas station, when people noticed it and I saw him glance out, I go, "How y'all doing?
Y'all come over to the house.
Come on over there.
We're having possum."
That's right. I got to hurry you back to the holler.
We're going to fry up a little beaver later.
Okay.
Then we're going to have dinner. DMX DM, all of my plates are already a variant of Docs and A-hole. See?
Good. See?
Truth in advertising.
Mine says ass man. 1 in a million shot.
Stinky, you're right. That means the Arkansas plates MoJo 50 are definitely available, but you'll get stopped every 20 miles.
Yep, and by 20 miles.
Cops love us. You're not going to get stopped. You may get stopped so a cop can come up and shake your hand.
Balance your offensive anti-cop license plate with charity magnets at charitymagnets.com.
That'll help.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Congress giving final approval to a stopgap money bill that puts off a partial government shutdown.
The Senate joining the House in approving the 2-week funding bill by voice vote.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes appear to have it.
The bill sets a new deadline of December 21st. Negotiations on a long-term funding bill are stalled over differences in funding for the border wall. The president has threatened to veto any measure that doesn't include $5 billion for the wall.
Capitol Hill correspondent Wally Hines. Some conciliatory remarks from Beijing helped to ease traders' concerns, causing stocks to rebound in Europe and Asia on Friday. Markets are on edge about U.S.-China trade friction. Economists looking for another strong jobs report later this morning from the Labor Department.
The report on November employment is expected to point to a solid economy with steady hiring, low unemployment, and faster wage gains. Analysts are forecasting that employers added 195,000 jobs and predict the unemployment rate held steady at 3.7%. Yesterday, private payroll processor ADP reported 179,000 jobs created last month, mostly in mid-sized businesses, with the healthcare sector seeing the highest gains. Jackie Quinn, Washington.
Footage showing the arrest of high schoolers protesting outside Paris, causing a stir ahead of further anti-government demonstrations planned for this weekend. The video has been shared widely on social media, prompting trade unions and far-left parties to lash out at what they perceive as police brutality. On Wall Street this morning, stock futures in the red. Dow futures down about 114 points. NASDAQ futures off 30 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American-made and serve those who serve us, our heroes. Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com, use promo code DOC, and get 15% off your purchase. That's neverforgottenapparel.com.
Hey guys, Ron Phillips with the Conservative Cartel. Are you tired of the bar scene, hoping to find the love of your life? Well, there is a better way for you single guys and ladies out there. Check out wethepeople.dating. They make it easy to find a liberty-minded match, and it takes less than a minute to create a free account and begin browsing through over 11 million monthly subscribers. Look, we all know the success of a relationship hinges on the core shared values of a couple. So check out wethepeople.dating for the love of people and people of love. Sign up and start dating today. Wethepeople.dating. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of a partner.
This is David Barton with another moment from America's history. Today, we heard that our founding fathers were largely atheists, agnostics, or deists. The writings of founding father Richard Henry Lee strongly refute that assertion. Richard Henry Lee was a signer of the Declaration of Independence, and he is specifically the man who made the motion in Congress that America separate from Great Britain. Following his death, his papers and correspondence, including numerous original handwritten letters from other prominent founding fathers, were passed on to his grandson. After having studied those letters, this was how the grandson described our founding fathers. He declared, "The wise and great men of those days were not ashamed publicly to confess the name of our blessed Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. In behalf of the people, as their representatives and rulers, they acknowledged the sublime doctrine of His mediation."
For more information on God's hand in American history, contact Wall Builders at 1-800-8-REBUILD.
Ship has landed.
I don't know what the hell that means.
Why the long face? Don't get so hoarse, be a Shetland pony.
Oh, okay.
So much easier.
Wow, that was really. I said,
it was
Brad,
a thinking man's joke.
The problem is, if I don't clear the gunk off my vocal cords by coughing, then I get like this. But if I clear the gunk off my vocal cords too much from coughing, it makes me hoarse, and I get like this.
I just suggested that you be a Shetland pony.
And I was like, what? What do you...
Wow. Don't lose your sense of humor.
I don't think I have. I think if things are funny, I will actually appreciate them and understand and whatnot. Is there a communicate your point?
Well, Lori D did just tweet, don't drive your MoJo 50 plates in the Las Colinas area. I don't know why we wouldn't want to drive over there.
I don't know.
I don't either.
I love Las Colinas. Is beautiful.
It is beautiful. And ironically, what are the big statues that they have in Las Colinas?
Horses?
Horses. It all comes full circle.
What does that have to?
You just spoke about being hoarse. Do you not listen to the show?
I'm not listening at all. So, by the way, it is beautiful there.
Yes, it is.
Las Colinas, there's a lot of nice areas here. I am still partial to the beautiful MoJo River.
Oh, absolutely.
Our studio's MoJo 50. That's kind of where we got the name because of the MoJo River that runs right by here. I am so waiting for an extended cold period where they launch the skating rink.
Oh, I know. That is going to be fabulous because people come from surrounding states just to skate on the river.
And the lights, I mean, Rockefeller Center, please.
Yeah. You've not seen anything until you've seen the light show and the skaters.
The whole winter festival and the hot chocolate and the kids on the banks of the MoJo River skating out there and the skate rental.
The fishing houses
and
out there.
And the music with the Nutcracker Suite, you know.
Yeah. It's a spectacle that... It should be on your bucket list. It should be one of the top 10 things you do before you die.
You should do it several times before you die. It's
easily. Well, once you do it once, you'll want to come back, I promise.
Speaking of bucket lists, Gwen Rich was faced with the, hey, I got to make a bucket list.
Yes.
About, what is that, 5 years ago?
Has it been that long?
I think it's been just over 5 years.
Yeah, Gwen was diagnosed, goes into the doctor, ends up being diagnosed with cancer, which would I'm not sure I'd have the strength. That would. I mean, just imagine.
So how's that play out? Here it is. Well, I got your test results back.
Okay,
Let me take a look at this.
How
here.
How am I?
Okay, because you've been having some problems. So it says here you have cancer.
And then you hear nothing else beyond that. That's it.
So I'm sure your ears, you feel that warm rush of blood to your ears and you can't hear.
Yep.
And then you're, oh my gosh, wait, what? Cancer. And then your immediate next question is, wait. What type of survival?
Am I going to die?
Survival. Right.
That's my next question.
And then he says, well, with this particular type of cancer, the survival rate is very, very low. Very, very low. So,
and then you really hear nothing. Then you hear absolutely nothing.
How low? How soon? Options. Well, there aren't a whole lot of options.
It kept getting worse. And she could have given up. She and her husband, they literally could have just thrown in the towel and said, that's it. We're done. I'm going to sit at home. But they decided they wanted to leave a legacy, and they've created the richsolution.com. Not only is there a book that you can read, Gwen's story, that will help you with your struggles. I mean, not every life has struggles. I mean, there are some people out there who have none. You're likely not one of them. But if you're dealing with some things in your life that maybe you could use a little inspiration, a little help along the way, that is what the Rich Solution is all about. Not only is the book there, but you'll also find supplements. And I have to say, the most popular, or one of, I would say, the top 5, is better sex for women over 50.
Yeah, what was it? Is it Angry Beaver that had a tweet about that yesterday?
Yeah, what if you
want better sex under 50?
And, I mean...
Here's the thing about that, and I realize the beauty of what she tweeted.
Yeah. The beauty of the beaver in the tweet.
Is that no matter how good it is, better is still better.
Yes.
Not more isn't always better. When it comes to sex, more is better.
Yes. Yeah. That's just, remember.
Because remember, sex is like pizza. Even when it's bad, it's okay.
The worst sex you've ever had? Still pretty damn good.
I don't know if that's always true.
Well, give me an example where it wouldn't be.
Jodie Foster, pinball machine.
Okay, that's not sex. There's
rape,
something different.
That's gang rape.
That's gang rape.
Did she have sex?
Did she? Well, she was forced into
Could you at least put the addendum of something like wanted sex? Or not forced sex. Although some people like forced
that's
sex.
My point. So you really, I mean...
So the beauty of the tweet was, though, what if I want better sex?
Yes.
See, you could take
Under
that
50.
as she's not having good sex.
Well, you'd have to ask the question, too, under 50 what?
Under 50 pounds, under 50 dudes, under 50 floors.
Uh-huh. It's all relative.
Under 50 boardwalks.
Let's not use the word relative.
Under 50 relatives.
Yeah, let's just go to the richsolution.com, and I guarantee you'll find something there that you were looking for. richsolution.com.
We've scoured news platforms and agencies around the globe for today's most profound news headlines. Presenting them now, here's Brad Staggs.
And these headlines.
I'm laughing because who is it, by the way? Tainted, moist, and sweaty something or other.
See, you can't read the whole damn name because they disappear.
He tweeted, I'm assuming it's a he, tweeted at you because directly behind you on the media wall, your thread is right behind you on the camera. So when that camera shot comes up, the side one where you can see it, and it's a GIF or a GIF that is repeating, and it's what's his name, Willie from The Simpsons. Groundskeeper Willie, of uncrossing his legs
like Sharon Stone,
with the kilt on. Actually, if you do one more tweet added, it'll bump it down one, and it'll be right next to him on that camera shot.
Told you it was a mistake putting that up there.
Put it down there.
I told you that was a mistake putting that back there.
See, if you were strategic about it, you could have like little arrows pointing to Brad.
They're not that smart.
Okay.
They're not going to think of stuff like that. The Pearl Harbor, by the way.
Oh my gosh, that's what we have to do.
What?
Stop.
Okay.
Ron, we need to work. Did I get that right?
Yes, you did. I'm surprised.
Well, it's on his shirt today, so that helps.
Wow, that does help. Yeah.
We need a way where people can do that.
What's that?
With a monitor, like where we enlarge one tweet thread or something where people can have stuff pointing at Brad, like really big.
Why are you?
Where they could put stuff that's readable. We got to work this tech out.
Kick me.
I think. What do you think, Jack Holes? Do you think that'd be good?
I work with 5-year-olds.
This from Brad. This from Brad.
How is this? Can you people not just grow up one day?
I thought it was a good idea.
Jeez. The Pearl Harbor ceremonies will go on today without the 5 remaining survivors of the USS Arizona. This is the first time that no Arizona survivors are expected to attend the commemoration of the attack on Pearl Harbor.
5 still alive.
5 are still alive, but they are in their 90s, and most of them say they find travel too difficult. So this will be the first time there are no survivors from the USS Arizona at the ceremonies. They're at the USS Arizona.
Today, of course, the anniversary of the attack at Pearl Harbor.
Which, again, if you haven't heard a lot of, we're getting to that point where it's...
You can make Pearl Harbor jokes? Are you there yet?
I don't think you...
No, we say that as a metric to determine how
that's
sensitive
true.
stuff.
Well, and for instance, at the fairs and carnivals around the country, I've seen the Titanic slide. So it's the
blow-up kid.
The blow-up where you slide down the deck of the Titanic. I mean, can you imagine, again, the Twin Tower slide? You have 2 buildings at an angle, you're sliding down, you're jumping off the Twin Towers.
Off of those, right.
Onto the trampoline. How... Oh my! Can you imagine how people would be triggered about that?
Yeah, you're right.
Or the Arizona. You know, it's some swimming game. It's just so. No, I don't think we are quite there just yet.
And the Titanic is just over 100 years. Was it 1914?
1912, I think. So it's 106 years ago. So there's no one alive from the Titanic anymore. But anyway, today...
Nancy Pelosi.
Well, that's her.
She just wasn't on the...
True. Gotcha. She wasn't there. By the way, the USS Arizona is still closed and will be closed until March for renovations. So,
okay.
Yeah, there you go. Donald Trump is going to be naming Heather... I think it's Nauert. Is it Now or Nauert? As the next UN ambassador. She is the former Fox News anchor and the current State Department spokeswoman.
This is...
she's hot.
Odd. Can we just say odd?
She's hot, so it doesn't matter.
I know very little about her. We had to look up her education. She does have her master's degree, but it's in communications.
Yes. She has a master's in communications and stunning blue eyes.
Most of her career has been in broadcast or media, because I questioned, does she have some sort of governing experience, legislating experience?
Have you seen her legs?
Let me, serious, because I'm just trying to figure this whole thing out. It was such an odd pick. Well, and when he picked her as a State Department spokesperson, you say, well, you've been a communicator, a broadcaster, so that does make kind of sense. To be picked as ambassador to the United Nations is bizarre. I mean, Trump can pick who he wants, and maybe she will do an amazing job. Because, I mean, listen, there's a lot of times people are not in a career field that they went to school for.
Right.
There are people that you say, hey, you give them a little bit of training, they'll excel at something. I'll give you that. Absolutely. It just is an odd pick. Not that she would serve as a PR person, as a spokesperson, but a UN ambassador.
You would not be questioning if she was not pretty.
Well, no, I would. I absolutely would. I absolutely. Well, and here's why. Because, like, people that attack the Fox News chicks, right, and they're like these bubble-headed blondes and whatever. Do you realize many of them, Martha McCallum, who was the one that went to the NBC Today show?
Megyn Kelly.
Megyn Kelly. And Shannon Bream are all attorneys.
Megyn Kelly's an attorney?
I think Megyn Kelly's an attorney.
I used to like her. Damn it.
Why did you tell me or has her law degree? Look that one up. I might be wrong. But I know Shannon Bream
I don't
does,
want to know.
And several of them have.
I don't want to know.
So these are educated people. Obviously, having your master's is impressive as well. Yeah, just odd pick. Well, hope she does well.
She's hot. Moving along, a California teacher sang the national anthem while forcibly cutting the student's hair. I should just leave it there.
Is this hazing? How old is the student?
The student, well, it was in apparently grade school. The teacher is 52. She was arrested on child endangerment charges after she seemingly was caught on video cutting a student's hair while shouting incorrect lyrics to the Star-Spangled Banner.
I don't know what I'm most triggered by here.
The sharp object in her hand while she was singing.
Oh, say ramparts as we cut the hair now.
The video posted online shows the woman telling a student to take a seat in a chair placed in the front of the class. She then loudly shouts the wrong lyrics of the national anthem while chopping off a couple of chunks of the student's hair and tossing it behind her.
Oh, I understand now. What? I was very confused by this.
Okay.
Tenure. That explains the whole thing.
You think she's locked in, so
she's
not
bad
going
crap
anywhere.
Crazy or progressive or both, because some of that's the same. And she has tenure. That's what this is. She's not being fired for this.
So what you're saying, tenure has its advantages.
Absolutely, for the teacher, yes, it does.
Good.
As a parent, by the way, I've never understood people who get so devastated by a bad haircut. You know it's growing back, right? Give it a couple weeks.
Yeah. Except for the fact that if the woman is nutsoid and she has a sharp object next to your kid's head.
No. Well, that's a whole separate thing.
Right.
So you as a person, though, or your kid, you get a bad haircut, ladies, it's fine. It'll grow back. Wear a ball cap or something else. Now, if you're a model and have a gig or something, I get it. Number two, though, cutting a child's hair, that is not your decision. Sorry.
No, it's not.
You need to be, is this a fireable offense?
It's assault. It's assault.
Assault is too broad, but I will give you that.
Are you doing something forcibly to someone else? Are you in their personal space?
I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying there's a difference between that and bludgeoning your child. So it's degree of assault.
Yes, it is a degree, but it is still.
But is it fireable? If you're a parent and they do that,
it was a threatening action.
I would need more information. And if they had been teacher of the year and amazing teacher and never under any other trouble, hang on a second, and everything spectacular, I would say reluctantly, possibly, they would keep their job with probation.
You need more information other than she was singing the wrong lyrics to the national anthem, forcibly cutting one of the kids' hair, sitting there in front of the class.
I want to know what her motivations were and stuff too. But I'm going to start with you're being fired.
Mm-hmm.
It would take a lot for me not to fire. I would fire her for not knowing the lyrics to the national anthem if you're going to sing the national anthem as a teacher.
I should find this woman and marry her.
You're an educator. So what? Kids are going to learn the wrong lyrics? Go to Chick-fil-A, Washington and the Delaware.
Movie Pass update. They're flopping around on the ground like a fish, but they're still around. It's reinvented itself again for 2019. Starting in the new year, subscribers will have access to all showtimes of all movies for either a monthly flat rate. Price will be based on your location in the country, or a prepaid 12-month subscription. You'll get to choose from Select, All Access, and Red Carpet. It'll be $9.95 to $25, and basically it's the current plan with limited movie selection. And
what do you get for the more expensive plans?
They will include they include the Red Carpet one includes premium screenings of IMAX and 3D.
So they're just charging you more.
Yes, and still I think it's the New York Attorney General's office still investigating them for fraud, and their stock remains at roughly $0.015.
And who owns them? Do we remember who?
Helios and Matheson, who tried to spin them off, but they can't seem to sell them.
And they still own them, though.
They still own them.
They haven't changed their name to Movie Pass Media, have they?
No, not yet.
No,
they might. They might.
That's a model that some people are trying.
Hot movies.
Hot movies.
Because you're going to get all the hottest movies.
You change it to Movie Pass Media, and you need a new marketing campaign. So you say, as you're changing it, even though it's going to be a dismal failure for Movie Pass, you say something like, things are heating up.
Yeah. You go hot movies. You're going to see the hottest movies.
Right.
Things are heating up with the hottest movies.
Sure. And
I like that.
And think how clever things are heating up are.
Mm-hmm.
That's
a good one.
Ooh, that's a clever phrase. I mean, I imagine if you got a room of people together and said, let's brainstorm a new slogan for Movie Pass, that would be one that some people would come up with.
They could use things are getting slippery.
They could use that.
Things are getting
Brad,
slick.
Given the option between things are cooling down or things are heating up.
Right. I can see why they would do that. I can understand completely.
Or given the option between, you're being scammed versus things are heating up. Because Movie Pass sounds like a scam to me.
Well, yeah, it does. It does. And especially having experienced Movie Pass.
Right, because you've experienced it.
I have.
Okay, given the experience being, it's a fraud.
Yes.
Things are heating up. What are you going to pick?
Oh, no doubt it's a fraud.
There it is.
That's what I'm...
So, I'm thinking that's probably a pretty good name,
Nice try, Movie Pass. A rare brain-eating amoeba killed a Seattle woman who rinsed out her sinuses with tap water.
Oh, no. Are you serious? I do that.
Yes, I thought you'd enjoy that one. That was just for you. 69-year-old Seattle woman underwent brain surgery earlier this year at Swedish Medical Center in Seattle. The woman was admitted to the hospital's emergency room after suffering a seizure. Doctors took a CAT scan of her brain, found what they initially thought was a tumor, but on examination, the tissue taken from her brain showed it was the amoebas. Yeah, they were eating her brain alive.
Maybe that's what's going on with me.
If you die, can I have some of your stuff?
I don't have any stuff.
Yeah. I want your car.
Because I have all this, some of the worst sinus pressure I've ever had.
You're right. You don't have anything I want.
I do this. Do you douche your nose?
I have, yes. I have a nose.
Listen, nasal douching
It
is incredible.
It really is.
And you got to balance the sodium in the douche.
Yes. It is amazing how the stuff that comes out of your sinuses when you douche them that way.
My mom gave me an old douche.
Did she?
For my nose. One of those turn of the century glass things where you put your finger over one hole.
Oh, right.
And it's the top hole.
Right.
Not the front hole.
Right.
Because they got a front hole that goes in your nose and then the top hole. So you dunk the whole thing in the water and then tip it back and douche your nose out. But it's one of those old school.
Right.
Isn't that called a neti pot?
Yes.
It's also a nasal douche.
Nasal douche?
Yeah.
Oh, I was just confirming. I wasn't.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, yeah. But
I don't throw that term around lightly either. Before we get to the rest of the headlines, let's talk just a minute about the Right-On game.
I don't think we should. Let's do it later.
You think so?
Yeah, you don't got much time. Let's get some more headlines.
It is Friday, December 7th. There are 17 days until Christmas. 17 days.
Wow.
That's sneaking up quickly. And
it's less than 18 days.
And 28 days until the year 2019. Just if you're keeping track. It's Faux Fur Friday on this date.
Does that mean 1999 was almost 20 years ago?
Yes, that is exactly what it means. Yeah. And I remember.
Do you remember when we were in many years when it is 1999 and they play the song by Prince? That'll be cool.
Yeah.
And now we're 20 years beyond that.
Disneyland Tomorrowland. Do you know what year that was supposed to be in Tomorrowland?
I don't know.
1986.
Ooh.
That's Tomorrowland. In 1787, it was the first of these. It's the best way I could say it.
Presidential vetoes. Go.
Delaware.
First state.
There you go.
Damn it.
2001, the remake of this movie starred George Clooney.
Batman.
No. Ocean's 11.
Oh.
That has been 17 years ago. That's a great... Have you not seen Ocean's 11?
I have. Why would you think I had
the way you were looking at it?
No,
you were staring off into space.
About it.
Are the drugs
and I'm drugged up and sick. Yeah.
Why don't you share with your friends? Larry Bird 61 today. Snap Dogg is 24, and not Snoop, Snap, and Jennifer Carpenter's 38. Quick game of Who Said It. No bans, no walls, no fences, no chains, no justice, no peace. Who said it? I'll give you as much time as you need. Take your time.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
How did you know?
Just a stab in the dark.
Our weird fact of the day: what happens if you're bitten by the boom slang snake?
I don't know.
The venom.
Taint rickets?
Nope. Better than that. The venom causes you to bleed from all the holes in your body. Okay. Think about that for a minute.
Is it deadly?
Oh, yes. Once you start bleeding from all of the holes in your body,
that could be deadly.
It is deadly, just so you know.
So you understand there are various types of venom. Some attack your nervous system, and some have to do with getting your flesh to like break down and cause you to bleed. Some of them clot your blood, right? And some of them cause you to bleed out.
Yeah,
that
that's
would
what
be
the
a bleed
boom
out.
slaying snake does. By
Every
the way,
orifice?
Every hole. So you will
like pore holes or just like orifices?
I believe orify.
What about your nose? It cause your nose to bleed?
Oh, yes.
What about your mouth?
Yes.
And ears?
Yes.
What about the front hole and back hole?
Yes.
Okay.
All of those. And the beauty of it is it doesn't happen immediately. It takes sometimes 2 to 3 days.
Do most people die from it?
Yes. Yes, they do. However, not very many people are bitten by these boom-slaying snakes because they're much like you. They just want to be left alone.
I can deal with that. That's all
they
right.
They hang
By
out.
the way, that happens if I bite you too. You'll bleed from every orifice.
Bleed out of every hole
I
in
don't
your
want to
body.
bleed from orifice.
I really
and I don't want to
either.
die. But if I am getting bitten by a snake,
yes,
and I know I'm going to survive, I'd rather have that because that'd be a hell of a fun party.
Bleeding out of your holes?
Sure.
Ugh. That's the one thing I just...
No, you show up at the party and you're like, look at this. Look at this.
No. I don't want to...
You know you're going to live.
No.
You'd rather just get bitten by a snake where your arm swells up or something?
I don't want
Dude, ultimate conversations.
I do not want to bleed out of holes.
Especially if it's around Halloween.
No.
You show up at a Halloween party dressed as like a zombie and you're bleeding out everywhere.
No.
Right?
No.
And that is a great costume. You can never replicate that.
Do not want to bleed out of...
You know if you showed up...
Yes.
I show up at a party and I'm bleeding out like this. And people are like, damn, that's a good costume. And that guy...
Ron?
He'd be like, I've seen better.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You know how I'd be.
Don't want to...
He'd be all like, oh, please.
I do not
It's not that good. I've seen better.
This is a shame, actually. We've run out of time, and I didn't get to talk about the man who cut off his testicles with a pocket knife.
Well, I'm sure some of that's coming up in your Friday leftovers anyways. It's probably a good chance anyways. And your Friday leftovers are coming up next on this, Your Daily Mojo.
High capacity, fully automatic, large caliber, Freedom. MoJo 50.
Remember when we used to laugh when we heard things that were unreasonable? Well, today we see more and more occasions where rational thought has been replaced by illogical thinking, and it's no laughing matter. Let me explain. A Nebraska elementary school principal recently decided that Christmas must be banned from her school. While many of the items on her banned list includes Santa Claus, Christmas carols, Christmas movies, and just about anything else most Christians and others would associate with Christmas, she also decided that candy canes certainly had to go because of what they represent. She said candy canes were banned because historically, the shape is a J for Jesus, the red is for the blood of Christ, and the white is a symbol of his resurrection. However, in all of her wisdom, she has come up with a few items that are still acceptable for school this time of year, namely polar bears, penguins, and the Frozen movie character Olaf. Fortunately, Liberty Counsel, a legal group that specializes in First Amendment issues, has stepped in with the hopes of educating the educator. Liberty Counsel wrote a letter to the school district which indicates in part that the ban violates the U.S. Constitution by showing hostility toward Christianity, and it violates the First Amendment right of students to receive information. The letter also states the principal appears to have conflated her own values and preferences with the law. The First Amendment simply does not require elimination of all Christmas symbols, religious and secular, in a misguided attempt to be inclusive by eliminating all traditional elements of a federally and state recognized holiday. The effort to comprehensively eliminate Christmas symbols is Orwellian. Liberty Counsel has asked that the policy be changed immediately. And that's today's Reality Check with Susan Knoll.
There's a better way to meet people without having to suffer through all the crazies. Weed out all the nutty people with WeThePeople.dating. That's WeThePeople.dating. It's easy to find a liberty-minded match, and it takes less than a minute to create a free account and begin browsing through over 11 million monthly subscribers. Look, we all know the success of a relationship hinges on the core shared values of a couple. So check out WeThePeople.dating. Sign up and start dating today. WeThePeople.dating. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of a partner.
All right, get your communiques in. Don't forget to use the hashtag What I Learned Today.
Over in the MeWe chat room, better sex over 50, behind 50, on top of 50, under 50 cent, with 50. Ooh. The rapper.
No.
And then
because it's better sex over 50, not better sex over 50.
and Peachy's.
You white people.
Nothing better.
How dare you?
Nothing better than morning sex, except morning sex with a partner, probably.
Probably. Someday they hope to find out. Right on, man. Right on.
Right on.
Hey, speaking of right on.
The Right On game. This is a very cool game, by the way. And I know you've been asking. Yes, there is a drinking version of the game, too. So you just go to therightonGame.com. And now I'm all paranoid every time I say the. It's therightonGame.com, right? No, it's no. There's no the.
Just rightongame.com.
I know, because it always autofills. So it's rightongame.com. Thanks for making me paranoid. I appreciate that.
What are the black cards for?
Well, there is and I don't want to get into the weeds of how exactly you play, because that's right there on the website. I want people to take a look. But if you go to rightongame.com, you will see exactly how to play. You're basically, the people who are playing are media personalities. So you choose a media personality you want to be. Then you get to read these cards out loud.
So, and I just noticed some of the names.
And there's controversy.
Because they're media. Panderson Cooper. Lester Dolt. Lester's actually one of the better ones.
I did a couple of shows with
Who's
Lester.
Mega
Nice guy.
Smelly? Oh, Megan Kelly. Is that it?
Really? You didn't?
I couldn't
figure that one
I'm
out.
a little out of the dark.
Wow.
Who's Wolf Schitzer? Rachel Mad Cow. I love that guy. Christine I'm a Powtour.
See?
Schmuck Todd.
See? So you play a media personality, and then there are controversy cards. The bottom line is this. You start getting into it. It's one of those games that starts a conversation and
or stops
one. And at during the holiday season, as it were, and you're going to have the family over, we have recommended you get this game. You start playing. You don't explain exactly what it is. You start playing it, because you're going to have a couple of crazy lefties, and make sure that you set your camera up prior to, so that you get the reactions of people on camera.
If you have a really easily triggered progressive relative,
yes,
I mean that it's going to be gold, I'd suggest a 3-camera shoot.
Yes. Get it on tape, get it on film, get it on whatever you can get it on, if you know what I'm saying, and I think you do. And then we're actually Right On Game is going to give a prize, and it's a very cool prize. Ron, tell them what they could win.
Well, Brad, that would be one Amazon Echo Show. That's the Amazon Echo Alexa. Good morning. The Amazon Echo Show.
Wow. Just like we rehearsed it, too. Just like
that has the little monitor on the front of it. So that's pretty cool. And they're also going to get an Amazon gift card for $25.
Details on that coming up. Just make sure to record yourself and be prepared to share it.
RightOnGame.com.
I'll tell you what, mocking the left never felt so right.
Exactly. Get yours or 2 or 3 today.
That was close to their slogan anyways. Yes, all right, do you have your bell?
I do have my bell, yes, indeed.
Let's go.
And now, Doc Thompson presents the Friday Leftovers.
These are the great stories we didn't get to earlier in the week, so we will get to them now. The Volusia County Sheriff's Office. Are you familiar with Volusia County?
Yeah, I believe that would be in Florida.
Let me check that for Yes, that is in Florida.
All right.
They conducted a sting to catch sexual predators recently.
Okay.
Cops posed as a 14-year-old girl and set up meetings. 7 men were arrested when they showed up to have sex with the aforementioned 14-year-old girl that doesn't actually exist. An interesting group of characters that were arrested.
I'll bet.
That included a 22-year-old former youth counselor.
That could be a problem.
May hurt your future career options.
You know, I wouldn't put it on my resume.
A 43-year-old man who was busted in a similar sting 2 years earlier.
We'll call him the guy who doesn't learn a lesson easily.
Yeah, that's the word recidivist comes to mind.
There you go.
And it's going to be difficult to plead to the judge or the jury that you've learned your lesson, right?
Yes.
And also a barber who was wearing a T-shirt that read, "I would cuddle you so much harder."
It sounds like fun.
That's right. I would. Wow, there are so many. So, would meaning given the option.
Yes. Yeah.
I would cuddle you so much harder. Don't you love this very gentle cuddling much harder?
I almost think that he is using the word cuddle to mean something. else.
Yeah, but cuddle, though, if you're using it in lieu of sex.
Yes.
Cuddle seems like a word that may apply or I'm sorry, appeal more to somebody younger.
You can cuddle your wife.
No, you can, and I'm sure many people cuddle, and there's some. But if you were going to say, I would poop so much harder, 14-year-old girl, or I would cuddle you so much harder,
that's
for most, what do you think is going to be more appealing? All right, listen. Sit down, 14-year-old girl. You have to pick one of these. Do you want to be cuddled so much harder, or do you want to be beep so much harder? Which one? You got to pick. Sorry.
Cuddle.
I'm going to go with the cuddling. That's right. Joke's on you. Cuddling is just pooping, so.
Death by Oingo Boingo.
That's right. All right. You can have cuddling, or you can have beep. Which one?
I'm going to take cuddling.
You want cuddling or death?
I'm going to take cuddling.
Great. I'll choose death. Death by cuddling. 34-year-old James Bowen said, and that's the barber with the I would cuddle you so much harder t-shirt, said why he was there. Obviously, the police misunderstood.
Sure.
He wasn't there for the sex.
Of course not. He was there to cut her hair.
Right, not like the other guys.
No.
They're all there for sex.
They're pervs.
Right, that's not me.
No.
You don't want to know why he was there?
Why was he there?
What did you just say?
He was there to cut her hair.
No, nothing like that. He knew this was a sting. He knew.
Of course he did.
He said he was going there because he thought it would be cool to see the sting in action.
Yep.
And guess what?
That's a nice try.
He got to see the sting in action.
Yes, he did.
He saw it.
There was no stinger action, but he did get to see the sting in action.
This is like To Catch a Predator fantasy camp.
Yes. Yes, that's exactly. It's like the rookie draft.
Yes, exactly.
That's what it is.
But this is really very close to actually being busted.
Yeah.
The only thing difference is, I'm sorry, there's no difference.
Right.
He was actually busted.
Yeah, he was.
Wait a minute, officer. You don't think I was here for sex? Officer, I'm so sorry. You misunderstood. Maybe I did not represent myself. I'll take the blame here. I'm not saying you screwed up, officer. Obviously, I did by not being more clear in my intentions. My intentions were not to cuddle that 14-year-old harder.
No.
Please, you're officer. Officer, you're stop. I'm here because I am in such awe of what you do. I watch the show Cops, and what's that live one now?
Live PD.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I needed to see it myself.
I wanted to watch you. I wanted to watch you work.
I mean, have you seen the charity magnets on my car? Have you seen them?
And my vanity plate that says, I love cops.
Right. By the way, I don't think that's going to help you when you're trying to cuddle a 14-year-old harder.
It's worth a shot. At that point, it's worth a shot.
Yeah, do not do the, I wasn't here for sex, I was just...
and I hate pigs.
No. You've got to come up with something off the chart. It is not going to work. But...
I fantasize about cops.
Right. I mean, here it is.
Whatever it takes.
You are going to be arrested if you just show up.
Yeah.
Right? If you show up for sex, whatever. And there is a 99.9999999, just play it out like to 100 points or 100 places, that you are going to be arrested no matter what.
Yeah.
But
even that
0.0000 out to 100 places, 1% chance that you will get off.
You're saying there's a chance.
You've got to be creative.
Yes, you do.
Right?
Don't give up until your last breath, your very last breath.
Here's one. Now, this would probably work if you are a female, because there's been some women that have been busted for this too, going for sex.
Yeah. Not many, but yeah.
Some of the teachers, what you want to say is, as he's putting the handcuffs on, officer, obviously I screwed up. But had I known that there were cops as hot as you,
right?
Had I known I was going to meet you, officer, strong in your Right?
I would have never attempted to diddle a 14-year-old.
Right. Again, you're probably going to be arrested.
Oh, yeah.
But you know.
Look, winners never quit and quitters never win. Just saying.
Officer, I've been under the influence of prescription narcotics. I've got a horrible sinus infection. Something like that?
You might try that one. It won't get you.
That's not clever.
It won't get you anywhere, and no. But you could try it.
You've got to set up the excuse early. Hey, 14-year-old, I'm getting ready to come over for sex, although maybe I shouldn't because I've got this horrible sinus infection.
I'm bleeding.
And I've always wanted to see a sting in action.
I'm bleeding from my holes.
I've recently been bitten by a
slang, back slang of the snake. Yes.
Yeah, these men face charges of using a computer to seduce, solicit, or lure a child, travel to seduce, solicit, or lure a child, attempting lewd and lascivious behavior. No, battery, and the use of a two-way communication device to commit a felony.
That's a bad thing?
Yeah, I think so. And by the way, that's not the big dog charge there, just so you know.
Right. What's the big one?
The wanting to diddle kids.
Well, there's that.
That's, by the way, are they going to, language keeps being dumbed down in our society. Are they going to dumb down some of these charges? Tried to diddle a kid.
They should.
Tried to cuddle a kid harder.
What was the first one? The using a computer or traveling to seduce a...
use of a computer to seduce, solicit, or lure a child. Travel to seduce was a separate charge.
Wow. So that's against the law to travel to seduce.
Obviously, that was created just to nail these people.
I think so. They
wrote the law around that one to try to catch people.
Just like, huh? Okay.
Yeah, why would it be worse to travel to seduce? No, Your Honor. I just seduced the child that was right here.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't actually travel.
I think they call that a bargaining chip.
Is that what that is?
We'll drop the charge of traveling to seduce if you cop to the rest of it, and you get 15 years.
Your Honor,
I know I'm not honored, but thank you.
I'm here representing the union of bus drivers.
Yes.
Taxi drivers.
Yes, counsel.
And traveling to seduce is a very big problem. We object to you dropping that charge.
You know what would happen.
Pro criminal tip number 4812. It is cool to see a sting in action, but not when you are the target.
Yeah.
Police in Oregon. Isn't that where Lori D is?
Yeah, she's somewhere up there.
Or is that Vika? No, Vika's there.
Somebody, yeah. No, I think Lori D's up there too.
Where's the angry beaver? Trick question. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Just
Police in Oregon are looking for a suspect who tried to siphon gas from a U-Haul.
This is not good.
What is your why are you laughing there? What part thinks you made it? What got you there?
When the word siphon gas and U-Haul just an attempt.
Tried, right.
Yeah.
Well, you might have gotten it wrong. Let's see how this plays out.
I might have.
Police in Oregon looking for a suspect who tried to siphon gas from a U-Haul. Surveillance video shows the man, as he pulled up next to the truck in his van, dragged a homemade siphoning hose into his van and attempted to put the stolen gasoline into a canister. The surveillance video also shows the fire that erupted inside the van. The surveillance video also shows the man as he fled the van with the entire lower half of his body engulfed in flames.
Things were heating up. Things are heating up.
That is accurate.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, heating up isn't always good.
No.
Cops haven't been able to track down the suspect yet, but they're confident they will soon. What with the likely second and third degree burns over the lower half of his body.
The trail of blood and charred skin.
Yes.
Yeah. It happens.
No, that's see, the potential for comedy skyrockets when a news story contains the word homemade.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of news stories that have the word like homemade meaning cookies. Once in a while. More often than not, homemade is homemade aircraft.
Yeah, or homemade bomb.
Or experimental aircraft or homemade bomb.
Or any homemade device.
Yes.
Device is never a good thing, especially when it's homemade.
John Denver.
That's right.
I think his was experimental aircraft.
Yeah, I don't want to get into any aircraft that is experimental.
Right.
I'll leave that to the test pilot.
I would say homemade.
Mm-hmm.
And any of these used in conjunction with one another is really bad. Homemade, experimental, karma, ice pick.
Yes.
Gone wrong.
Yes. Bad. Very bad. All of those.
A man was using a homemade ice pick when karma struck. It was an experiment gone wrong.
Yeah, that's. And if you couple that with bleeding and holes.
Yeah, it's going to be bad for you.
Bad.
According to the Broward County Sheriff's Office, Broward County's in Florida, for those of you keeping track, 37-year-old Shanetta Yvette Wilson was in the checkout line at the Dollar General store, got into a verbal dispute with a customer standing next to her, a guy named John Walker.
Walker?
He got into a verbal discussion, a heated discussion, when he challenged her about her loud flatulence. They're standing there, and she let it fly.
What's her name?
Shanetta Yvette Wilson.
So she's Italian, all right.
Yes.
Making sure.
So there, and
Italians.
And he objected to that.
Oh.
He objected to her poor manners, so she responded, as any of us, any reasonable person would.
Right.
She took out her lock blade.
Okay.
And threatened to gut him. Which is an ironic term, given the fact that they were disputing her flatulence.
Yes, coming from her gut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that can be a problem as well.
They say that she pulled her arm back with the lock blade and prepared to attack him, and that's when the cops were called. The man avoided being stabbed, but called the cops. Deputies eventually found her, and she was arrested.
For attempted stupidity. You got to watch out for those Italians. I tell you, they've got a temper. Bad gas and tempers.
26-year-old wedding photographer named Katie Mehta, who goes by the name Max McIntyre for her business.
She's an accountant.
She's a hi, I'm looking for that that accountant Max McIntyre. Oh, you mean the photographer? No, it doesn't sound right. She also uses Max McIntyre in her other business. She is a swimsuit model.
Okay. Max McIntyre.
Yeah. Anyways, she was at one of her wedding shoots when attendees noticed some odd behavior coming from her. They say she urinated on a tree during the service.
Okay. That doesn't sound,
And she had sex with a guest.
Okay. That'll draw some attention.
Sorry. I mean, maybe she was confused and needed answers about who the best man was.
It could be. I wonder if she found her answer.
You know, they're telling me that Carlos is the best man, but I suspect Pete may be.
Actually, my money's on Rick.
When cops asked her to leave, because the guests were pretty upset, she went over to the tree and began to urinate. That was after she had the sex. They said, better leave.
Well, yeah.
And then she began to yell threats at the officers. She screamed, "Y'all's daughters are dead."
That probably wasn't her best move.
Charity magnets will not balance that out.
No, it really won't.
She then said, "Y'all's families will be dead by Christmas."
Yeah, see, you could put 2 or 3 of the charity magnets on your license plates, and it wouldn't help.
Yeah.
At that point,
100 is not going to balance that out at that point.
I love cops wouldn't help.
Cops say she smelled strongly of alcohol.
Well, that's weird.
And they found a bottle of Xanax in her pocket.
Huh. That's really strange.
She faces charges of public intoxication and a felony charge of obstruction or retaliation. Her family said they don't believe this happened this way.
Of course not.
They say that she probably had her drink spiked by a guest. That's what caused her wild behavior.
Of course.
It was not the Xanax and the alcohol.
No. She's not the type to pee on a tree. She's never done that at home.
No, she can hold her Xanax and alcohol.
Absolutely.
We've seen it many times.
Yeah. Peeing on a tree.
She knows you pee in the bushes. Clearfield cops say a man armed with a handgun entered a gas station and demanded money.
All right.
The employees complied. The man fled the store with the money.
Okay.
Police showed up, began to investigate, but they really only had one clue, one small, simple clue. Footprints in the freshly fallen snow leading from the store to his home.
You better have a damn good cover story if you leave footprints.
I don't think charity magnets will help you here either.
No, it really won't.
Inside, they found the money and the gun and arrested the juvenile who was responsible for the robbery.
Even supporting policemen's balls won't help you over there.
Nope, not going to help you out one little bit.
Nope.
I love this time of the year, wintertime, because that's when we get the stories about the people being tracked down by the snow or footprints in the snow. Now, outside of Christmas, occasionally we get the stories of people being tracked down in a similar fashion with a trail of something.
Yes. Either blood and charred skin.
We get that. Sometimes rappers.
Yeah.
Not people
to wrap.
Musicians, right.
But wrapped like candy wrappers.
Yeah. Well, they'll rob a store of money and they'll take some candy and then they eat the candy on the way and they. It's like a trail of breadcrumbs.
It is. Well, that's how they can find their way back to the supply of candy.
That's smart.
Yes,
That's smart.
They're survivalists.
Continuing our Friday leftovers now. A 73-year-old Polk County woman brought a small clear plastic bag to her doctor's office. She is 73.
Okay.
She asked for the substance in the clear plastic bag to be tested.
All right.
Because she was scared that what she had been smoking may be bad for her, and she wanted the doctors to check it as well as check her well-being. They checked the substance.
Okay.
Any guess?
Marijuana, perhaps.
Please.
That would be too obvious.
She's not smoking pot. It's an old lady.
73.
Methamphetamine.
Oh, well, that can be a problem.
Also known as
meth.
Or crystal meth.
Well. Or
crystal.
It's not the
or
same as
Slappy McGee.
Or what was the last one?
Crystal.
Or, what was I thought you said Mickey something.
Slappy McGee.
Oh, that's after you've been smoking it.
Yeah, I mean, that's not in a lot of communities, not as common as crystal or crystal meth. It's not clear where she got the meth or why she was smoking it, but she said she'd been using it for about a month.
Is that a crime?
What do you mean?
Is that a crime? To smoke?
Meth? Yes, it's a crime.
Is it a crime to smoke it? Or is it just a crime to possess it?
I don't know, but she possessed it regardless.
Well, she was giving it up.
Okay. Yeah, the cops looked unfavorably upon this. She was taken to a medical center to be checked out, then booked into the Polk County Jail on 2 counts of possession of meth and 2 counts of possession of paraphernalia.
So again, my question, is it illegal to smoke it? You can't have the paraphernalia and you shouldn't possess it, but is it illegal to smoke it?
Aren't you possessing it if you ingest it?
It's like having your cake and eating it too.
So you're saying as long as it's not mine and I don't touch the method of inhalation and I just do that, then I'm good, I'm clear?
I'm just saying I would try that defense. There's something, I think there's the nugget of a defense inside that.
Here's the good news about smoking meth when you're 73 or older. Number one, you have less concerns about some of the negative side effects of meth than younger people.
You're not shaving a large percentage of your life off.
Number one.
Yeah.
Good point, right? It's a smaller percentage. Number two, the whole teeth thing. Meth rots your teeth. If you're older, there's a good chance you already have some dental issues anyways, right?
Okay. Although I've been told meth technically doesn't rot your teeth. It's just the poor hygiene that comes along with being a meth head.
Now it's eating through your teeth.
Oh, right.
Number three, when you get older, you get a little slower, run down. Meth, what's it do?
Gives you a little
pick-me-up.
A little something.
Right.
Yeah.
Number four, one of the other side effects, the negative side effects of meth is the bugs under your skin. The feeling of bugs under your skin.
Unless you enjoy that sort of thing.
Hey,
just saying.
People claw on their skin, you get the scars or whatever. If you're older,
You're not living with it living with it for the rest of your life it's not that bad.
I'm just saying, who would it be worse for if you're smoking the meth? Somebody that's hot and young or somebody that's kind of old and run down anyway?
Say it would be worse for the person that's hot and young. You got more to lose.
And you're hip with the kiddies.
Right.
Now you could communicate on their level.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah. You can go to a Snoop Dogg concert.
A T-Mobile store in Norman, Oklahoma was robbed by two masked men recently. They walked into the store with a small baseball bat. They began demanding items that they could pilfer and take with them.
Right.
They forced the employees into the back room. They demanded that the employees load up the most expensive items into bags.
That's smart.
The employees complied. They did as directed, loaded up $30,000 worth of cell phones.
Wow.
By the way, I think that was only 4 phones.
Say if they're iPhones, that's about maybe 3.
Hey, if you didn't get it at Patriot Mobile.
That's
probably.
true. Mm-hmm.
$30,000 worth of cell phones. The employees also loaded a phone with an active GPS tracker on it.
Those sneaky McSneakersons. That's not playing fair.
The employees are like, sure. Here you go. Don't forget this one. I'm going to put this one right here. Before they left the store, the perps took the employees' IDs.
Okay.
And threatened to, quote, come back and get them if they reported the robbery.
All right.
Do you remember that scene in Goodfellas?
Oh, man.
They hijacked the truck at the diner.
Yes, that's right.
He takes his ID out and he goes, now you may know who we are, but we know who you are.
Yeah. We definitely know who you are and where you live.
And the guy went in and said, a couple black guys stole the truck, right? He knew. They were kind of doing that. But see, here's the thing. The employees are going to report the robbery.
Yeah.
Unless they have $30,000 to put the stuff back, because the bosses are going to be going,
right.
Where are the phones?
Right.
So there's a fail there.
Yes. Yeah.
Also, if you threaten the employees like that, they have a greater incentive for you to be arrested.
Sure, because, they don't want you out there on the street. They're looking over their shoulder.
Right. Yeah. So you start saying, because a lot of times employees are like, I don't have to replace this stuff.
Right.
Oh, you're going to come and get me. Let me put this GPS tracker phone in the bag for you. That's going to be good. Don't forget this one.
That's quick thinking on their part.
Cops use the GPS to track them. The phones, the bats, the masks, all in their car, and they were arrested.
So there's a happy ending.
Yeah, a little bit of a fail there for you. A little bit of a fail.
Big time.
All right, get your comments in all across the social media platform.
The note to the would-be cell phone robbers: the phone's GPS trackers are snitches. Yes, tainted, moist, and sweaty meat.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's difficult to give them stitches. So
yeah, that's
all right.
Point.
Get your communiques in.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.
News this hour. News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. A key figure in a couple of high-profile Washington investigations has a date later today on Capitol Hill, summoned by House Republicans who allege bias in those probes.
Former FBI Director James Comey has testified publicly on Capitol Hill about both the Hillary Clinton email investigation and the investigation into Russian election interference. He went to court to fight against a subpoena, but now struck a deal with the House Judiciary Committee that allows him to speak publicly after he's questioned.
Correspondent Jackie Quinn. The stopgap spending bill passed by Congress means there will be no partial government shutdown, at least for now. The measure puts off a possible shutdown for 2 weeks, a new deadline, December 21st. Negotiations on a long-term funding bill have stalled over differences in funding the border wall. The man who served as U.S. Attorney General for most of President George H.W. Bush's time in office may be nominated to return to that job.
William Barr, who was U.S. Attorney General between 1991 and 1993, could be in line to return to head the Justice Department. Two people familiar with the process say Barr is high on President Donald Trump's list of possible replacements for Jeff Sessions, who was forced out as Attorney General in November. A person with knowledge of internal discussion says Barr has been on a White House short list of contenders for several weeks. The person adds that another serious contender is Republican Representative John Ratcliffe of Texas. Mike Gracia, Washington.
State Department spokeswoman Heather Nauert is reportedly the leading contender for United Nations ambassador, succeeding Nikki Haley. A couple of Trump administration sources say they expect the president to nominate Nauert. A GOP congressional aide expects the president to make the announcement later this morning.
It looks like you're losing.
I am.
Are you losing weight?
I am losing. I've lost about 10 pounds.
How are you doing it?
It's a funny name, but I've done it with Riduzone. RIDUzone.com, and the stuff works. It's, you get into all that, the molecule this and the found in that. All I can tell you is it makes you feel full, and it keeps your mind off of wanting to overeat.
And also boosts your metabolism,
Yes,
so you're
it does.
burning more.
Yeah, it
Try it today. It's going to work for you like it's worked for Brad and countless other people. Riduzone.com. RIDUzone.com.
Doc Thompson, MoJo 50.
Hey, Miss Universe is breaking new ground this year.
What's she breaking?
There's a man running for Miss Universe. Actually, that's misleading because I might be competing for Miss Universe, but not for the title, but bend one down. So I'm competing for Miss Universe. Oh, you're in the pageant? Nope.
You're
not at all.
You remember you're married, right?
I was saying that there's an understood when I say I don't mean now. I meant if I was a single man, which is apparently going to be in about a week. She's representing Spain. This is a transgender person.
Dave had this snip thing?
I don't know where they're at.
Or is it the Silence of the Lambs tongue?
Could be the Prince Albert.
Yeah.
Angela Ponce won her qualifying rounds in Spain and will represent Spain in the 2018 Miss Universe pageant. They are doubling down. She is the clear favorite to win.
Kind of like Alabama.
She being the transgender person that it may be a man. I don't know where we're at on this.
Wow.
Take the pain out of ordering your diabetic testing supplies with Diathrive. Diathrive ships the testing supplies you need directly to you when you need them. Best of all, with plans starting as low as $8 a month, Diathrive is probably going to cost you less than what you're paying today. Diathrive is so convinced that you'll love their service, they're offering your first month of supplies free. Simply type the code DOC, D-O-C, at checkout. Diathrive.com. That's DIA Thrive.com.
The mothership has landed.
Doc Thompson and Brad Staggs on your Daily Mojo.
What's left of you? What's left of you?
I'm hanging in there.
You are.
I feel
well.
a little bit better. I mean, the last couple days, I was like comatose all day, just like unable to move, dead tired. I feel a little bit better when it comes to tired and being run down, but it's all in my throat, and I hate that. It's just, that sucks.
It's in your throat.
It is in my throat.
I'll tell you what, you look like crap.
Well, thank you for the support.
You sound like crap and you look like crap. How are you, Doc?
By the way, I so deserve this because I gave Matt so much crap.
Oh, yeah, don't worry. It's coming this morning.
Didn't you get this crud from Matt Long?
I think so.
Yeah, we kissed. I mean, he's a really crappy kisser, by the way.
It wasn't worth it, I got to tell you.
If you weren't
it wasn't
such
very good for
sluts.
either of us.
See?
Yeah, that's pretty funny there. See, this is why I say you got to both dish it out and take it. Right?
Yes, you do.
Oh, he takes it all right.
I take it. I take it pretty good.
He likes taking it.
That's why he enjoys
Don't get me. I like giving. I like dishing it out, but I can take it.
It's so much easier just to lay there and take it.
Right.
I'll tell you, he's a sensitive lover.
I've heard the story.
Soft lips.
I've heard the rumors.
Firm handshake.
Yes.
Soft lips, firm handshake. Just like Janet Reno.
Yes.
Just like Dad. Remember, get yourself a man who looks
Just
at
like
you.
Paul Bagala. What was his name? Remember Paul Bagala? Is he still around?
Bagala, yes.
Holy crap. I cannot believe it.
What?
Isn't that him? Is that Paul Bagala sitting there? I am not seeing him
That's probably
in 6 months, a year.
They brought him out of the cobwebs.
That's why you thought of him. subliminally.
Well, first of all, you're watching CNN, which is not much better than Fox.
It's entertaining.
It is.
No, we do that because we know what Fox is going to say about stuff. CNN, we're just looking for the stuff that we
Well, you know what they're going to say? The tried and old and crusty talking points.
Same stuff. Let's get to some communiques real quick.
The Klopp. I think that was John Kloppenberg III earlier.
Oh, nice.
Get yourself a man who looks at you the way Biden looks at an unattended 8-year-old across the room.
Creepy Uncle Joe.
Okay. Favorite internet pictures, not even things that started out as or really became a meme, although they did. Just the pictures. Joe Biden looking out the window.
Yes.
Remember the long
long gaze.
Which I'm sure people on the left think, look at how noble, and it's hilarious. And Hillary Clinton in the donuts. I showed my wife that like a week ago because I was going to make a meme out of it. And I go, by the way, did you ever see this picture when she was on the campaign trail? And she goes, no. And I go, look at this. And she's like, yeah. And I went, and I just looked at her.
Think
and I went,
about it.
And I didn't even say that. I just go in my head, 1001, 1002.
You're waiting.
And then all of a sudden she went, wow. Okay, the donuts? And I said, yeah. And I go, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I can't." And I go, "Yeah."
Well, did you happen to see the Clintons at WHW's funeral?
We touched on it just a little bit.
Was that not somewhat odd?
Which part for you?
Just the overall. I mean, they don't like each other.
I don't know that that's true.
You think that they may
because
it's all Yuckville, it's all the Obamas and the Clintons, and you had poor Jimmy Carter. He didn't know where the hell he was at.
He was just didn't know if it was Tuesday or chocolate.
Yeah, he was just sitting in the front row. But Trump walks in, and they're all like,
"Dad's here."
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
hey, put it away.
You know what Carter's thinking?
I'm next.
Damn. I wonder what'll be said at my funeral.
Yes, you have to be at that age. It's my green
how
bananas.
Old is Carter? 92?
Yeah, something like that.
At least.
Because he was number 39?
Yes.
Right? He was right before Reagan. Reagan was 40.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, he's lived a long life. Q might be after him too.
You think so?
Somebody's going to assassinate him.
So Carter's if I'm one of the guys like officials there, or hell, if Carter just makes eye contact with me and I'm in the crowd, I give him a little wink and kind of a nod up to the
yeah, you. I'm looking at you,
Jim, right there. Right.
That's funny.
No, I honestly think the Clintons actually like each other, but not like friends like each other. It's like
business partners,
honor among thieves.
Yes.
Like that.
That's a good way to say it.
Respect for their
mutual
shadiness.
Respect for the mutual experience.
Now, don't get me wrong. I think she was pissed.
Oh, she didn't talk to Trump or Melania, but okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think she was pissed at Bill back in the day because he cheated on her and he was with another woman.
Doesn't care.
No. She was pissed at him because he made her look bad in the media.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
But all right, communiques, Bradley.
Let's see here. No, it's not Backyard Cows. It is. I'll just say, Mr. Dickens. Husband asked his wife, "Why don't you tell me when you have an orgasm?" And she says, "Because I don't like calling you at work." Oh, thank you. Thank you. And that, my friends, is an example of the MeWe chat room.
Oh, it's fantastic over there at MeWe.
Don't go there
if you're clean version.
Don't go there if you're easily offended.
That's the less than 1% he could
But
share.
you know what? You should be offended at some things, right?
Why?
Why wouldn't you be? Let's think about, the arguments we currently have.
Right.
We talk about being different here. You talk about points of view. Shouldn't you be a little bit offended? Shouldn't you be pushed to the point where you want to debate back?
Right. But the key here, Matt, you're absolutely right. You should be passionate about things.
Right.
But the key is, at that point, you choose, all right, I will either walk away.
Right.
Or I will debate.
That's right.
I'll punch you, and I'll do whatever.
I'll bring my facts to the table.
Right, exactly. But I'm not going to tell the government or a website to shut you down, to stop. I'm not going to do that or whatever.
Right.
I have other options like,
that's right.
I'm not listening.
Well, and that's MeWe. That's the great thing about MeWe. It's a little bit rough around the edges, let's put it that way.
Like that, though.
But I do too.
Sort of like Caitlyn Jenner.
Wow. Ever since you showed me the pictures.
I saw an article the other day, so I don't know if you guys, I can't remember the name of the app for Flipbook, flip something, but it goes through all these articles on the left and the right. Right?
Oh yeah, it is Flipboard.
Flipboard, I think it is.
Flipboard.
Thank you. I had a late night, but it has stories from the left and the right.
Mm-hmm.
And you know the stories I'm seeing more often now?
What?
How to prepare for anal sex.
Why? I mean,
prepare?
Yeah. I mean, can
it's
you?
easy. Just relax.
I was going to say,
it's only going to hurt for a second.
Is there a checklist? By the way,
number one. Yes. Number two.
Question your life choices.
But they're right. But you know, there's stories like that on Flipboard.
Number three. Don't bother husband at work.
Right.
I mean, you talked about the orgasm and not telling you. It's kind of jogged my memory, but it's now we become a society where now we need manuals.
Do you know what a satisfied woman sounds like?
No.
I didn't think so.
The other punchline to that is, who cares?
Oh, yeah, it's done 3 minutes ago.
You gotta own that one.
That's right.
Someone hit you with that, you could take that one either way.
Larky Farkin, yes. The answer is yes.
On the steps?
No, the question. Doc looks like crap, sounds like crap, but does he smell like crap?
Yes. I think we all know that.
Yes.
So if you're troubled by some of this stuff, it could lead to some extra strain on your heart, which could lead to all kinds of bad things. That heart disease is already a challenge anyways. You don't need that extra strain. Brad, if someone had heart disease, how could they challenge that?
You know, there's a lot of things you could do, but probably the smartest would be, I would say, going to SaveYourHeart.com. I would say either doing that or calling 1-800-777-HEART.
77-HEART.
77-HEART.
It's 2 sevens.
You don't need the extra 7.
You don't, yeah, because who wants 777s? It's just 877-HEART. Because if you go there, you're going to find the Linus Pauling therapy formula.
Which is
fabulous for your heart. It's a group of minerals and vitamins that aren't found naturally in abundance in food, so it's not like you can eat your way into this good stuff. You really need to take a look at the Linus therapy. It's Linus Pauling. So I'm doing all this from memory. And this how am I doing?
Maybe you can help him out there, man.
He's having trouble.
All right, yeah,
Matt. It's the Pauling therapy. It's Pauling Essentials Therapy formula.
What's the doctor's first name?
Thomas Levy would be the doctor who you're going to get the #1 America's killer of plaque in your arteries.
I don't know if Matt's right, but I'm believing it.
He sounds, you know what he's doing? He's vague and says it with conviction, and that's the key.
As long as you say it with conviction, it must be right.
Do you know what the #1 time of year for heart attacks is?
It would have to be Christmas.
Yes,
Mondays.
You know,
Mondays and around Christmas time. Around
I was just talking to Ron last night, and a friend of ours who had a heart attack, had bypass surgery, just had another heart attack within a year and a half. So I would assume it's probably it's hereditary for one.
Well, you have that, and heart disease. There's heredity. There's how you live, your lifestyle, all of this stuff. And heart disease is the #1 killer. We know and have learned that probiotics and gut health actually have an effect on your heart. Your oral hygiene has an effect on your heart.
Yes, it does.
And sugar has an effect on your heart. All of these things are things that.
You had me right up until sugar, damn it.
See?
You had you to the Bugles and the M&Ms.
Right. By the way, according to the research of Dr. Linus Pauling.
Linus, wow.
What did I say? The Linus Pauling therapy formula.
I'm still not believing you.
I don't care.
Sounds like a
it's
bad
vitamins, minerals.
Linus.
How about you just give the website?
Amino acids, enzymes the body needs for saving the heart may not always be available in the food we eat daily. I was right the whole time. Why did I ever listen to you?
And now, the totally acceptable racist joke of the day.
What's the difference between a park bench and a white guy?
I don't know. What is the difference between a park bench and a white guy?
A park bench can support a family of 4.
This has been the totally acceptable racist joke of the day.
I see what you did, because white guys...
They don't take care of their
No,
families.
they don't. They
They're
do not.
lazy and they're not working. And
Exactly.
So
Living
I think
off
that,
the system.
Right, exactly.
Scummy.
Avenatti is actually going to be forced to give up a bunch of stuff in a settlement with his wife.
Did you see that? So you're a divorce guy, Doc.
Yes.
I'm a divorce guy. In Indiana,
Brad,
Hold on. How many ex-wives you got?
just one.
Pussy.
I only have 3 ex-wives, so
Only 3.
No, you don't.
I have 1.
I have 2.
Good for you.
How do you hold up a set of books without 2?
Was it a game or a contest?
I'm questioning my life choices at this point.
You're getting your article ready.
He's getting the checklist ready.
Yes.
Yes, we are all have experienced a divorce in our life.
And you know, it's a terrible feeling, and I have kids, and you have kids, and you have kids. I was talking about this with Brandon Morris yesterday. The woman is always favored in the court of law here in this country. And when it comes to kids and the mothering instinct, and I want to go back into court now that we've got this new.
I would recommend you stay out of court.
Yeah, me too.
I would recommend you don't go back into court.
Wouldn't you just want to go to a judge and say, "Sir, I now associate myself with a loving mother. I
identify as a loving mother.
Identify as a loving mother. I should be allowed to have the children."
Yep.
But poor Michael, he's gotten raked over the coals. One Ferrari and millions.
Cash, artwork. Keep in mind, he has all those things, even though he still owes millions upon millions in taxes, personally and through multiple businesses.
Well, but that, you know what, on the left, that's like a resume enhancement.
Wait
Look
a
at
minute.
Didn't Sharpton?
Wait a minute.
Yeah, what?
I just figured out what he's doing.
What's that?
I just figured he's getting divorced. She's getting all the stuff. He's not going to have any money to pay for the taxes and all that. They're not really getting to. I mean, they still.
Oh no, because he's been out with other broads.
Yeah, I mean, he's kicking other chicks and dragging them around by their hair. And
I mean, you could be right, but I think it's more likely that
if you're going to
think it's a ploy.
If you're going to pull the con, you better make it look.
No, because you got to remember, he's likely slapped that chick around.
Is that a euphemism?
Nope.
Well,
okay. And that you don't just start that. It's not like you were the loving, perfect guy and everybody you've dated, but this one chick, she just needed a good beating.
You know what we need?
No.
We need some
He was beating all of them.
We need some sleazy Avenatti pickup lines. You know, just think of Michael Avenatti in the bar. Hey, baby, I have a Ferrari and an expensive watch.
I would just say, hi, Michael Avenatti is a pretty
that's the
sleazy
sleaziest
pickup
line right there. That's all you have to say.
So he is not running for president now. He's announced that he's out. He's out. I know.
Oh, that is disappointing.
It was going to be so much fun.
Because between him and Ocasio-Cortez, there's not enough air in the room for both of their heads.
Bernie is doubling down on running.
Oh, he should run.
Yeah, which we speculated that.
He should.
He knew he was
he'd be like 98 years old by then.
97, right there.
Yeah, close.
He was obviously a shoo-in to get reelected just this last election. As senator.
Oh yeah, like 90%.
Right, 90%. Right.
Yeah.
So he didn't even campaign in Vermont. He campaigned around the country, like 8 other states.
That's what you do when you run for Senate.
From Vermont.
Yeah.
Unless you're running for president. Now, those other campaign stops weren't just to help other candidates like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. It was because he's running again for president.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see. You know, the amazing thing is I saw a story come out the other day, which was, the whole climate change as he spent
This is going to be their big push, right?
$300,000 in private jet costs flying around the country.
I love their excuses about that. Their excuses whenever you call them on this. The Al Gores with what the size of their house and that they fly around. And the house stuff, they always try to explain away and say it's not as bad as you think and whatever. And it always is. But the traveling and Prince Charles, same thing. He's a big green nut.
Oh, yeah.
Flies all over the place.
Oh, yeah. Carbon footprint.
Right. And they fly to Paris for the Paris Accord.
Yes,
right?
the climate summit.
Guys, you could just do this on Skype.
Right.
But they say they're doing so much good by this, it offsets everything they do.
Well, it's always the argument of the left is how we are helping you.
Right.
It's you. We've got to jump in that plane and we have to fly around the country because I can only help you when I'm with you.
So Bernie, here's my list of people that I know are running for president to challenge Trump in 2020.
Okay.
And you're going to see this play out in the next 12 months.
Oh, yes.
Bernie Sanders is running.
Oh, yes.
I don't care if Bernie Sanders dies.
Oh, he's running. It's
running.
weekend at Bernie's.
Yes. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Those nutcases will be out there propping him up.
Yes.
And saying, you know what? Where does the Constitution say you have to be alive?
They'll probably debate that.
Does it?
Does it?
No.
No. So
it says over 35.
At any other time in history, this would be an asinine conversation.
Yes, it would.
At
Well,
any other time in history.
Can't you describe all of our conversations as asinine?
No, that's
Okay.
the thing.
I probably shouldn't suggest that because they may run Hitler.
They'll just embalm him. Hitler. Everybody loves Hitler.
You know who loved running dead people for president?
Hitler.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I've
That's
heard
right.
that.
So Bernie Sanders is in.
Yes.
I believe Hillary is running. There's been some question.
100%.
Is she in?
She's in. 100%. Oh, yeah. She hates Trump. After the funeral, we were talking about that. I'm telling you, she went home after that funeral. She looked at Bill and she says, how in the hell did I lose to that schmuck?
That is so wonderful, isn't it?
Oh, she was pissed. It is wonderful because it'll be another.
Bernie, Hillary, they're in.
Yes.
Avenatti at this point likely out. If it was another year or so, maybe he'd try to get back on, but he may be on in 2024.
Yeah, he's still a young guy. He's like 45, so
Yeah.
he got time.
Yeah.
He got time.
Joe Biden, I believe, in.
Yep, he's
Right?
testing the waters, yes.
The only way he's not is if
An 8-year-old shows up in front of him.
No, because they'll explain that away.
Yeah.
The only way he's not is if somehow the polls show that he likely Joe's old school. He's going to go by the numbers.
Yeah.
Avenatti's the I want to be president.
Yeah.
Right? That type. Joe's going to look at the numbers and his people are going to say, Joe, they're showing. That's the reason he didn't run before.
Yeah, the numbers were bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Who else is in?
Elizabeth Warren will be in. She's 1,024th sure she's in.
Okay.
So I think she'll be in. I think Booker's a go.
Booker.
And by the way,
Cory Booker.
when we say running for president, we mean they will at least
Primary.
officially announce.
Yep.
Because sometimes, and this is one of my favorites, I'm running for president. 4 weeks later, I'm out. I'm no longer running. I'm suspending my campaign.
Right.
Cory Booker will be that guy.
Yeah.
He will be in
and out.
Make a big circus of the thing, and then 4 weeks later.
Yeah, he
suspends the campaign.
Glory whore.
Right.
I mean, that's what he is.
Glory whore.
I mean, look at him.
I've never heard
The
that.
glory whore.
Glory whore.
Just saying. He gets off on whoring.
And then
His glory.
You say Kamala, I say Kamala.
Well, now
Kamala,
let me
Kamala.
let me ask you a very serious question. Did you see the story
Let's
that
start now.
Well, yeah, exactly. Did you see the story that came out of the corruption in her office?
Which one?
The sexual misconduct.
Oh, I don't know if I saw
Out of whose office?
Out of Kamala Harris's office.
I don't think I saw
There
that.
is a sexual conduct story out of Kamala Harris' office. I'm going to get to it next week. But it's huge, by the way.
Didn't she? Hello.
Yeah.
Didn't she get to where she is because she was
sleeping
with somebody
the
who's
mayor?
old
Or,
and
yeah,
rich
Brown.
and famous?
Somebody Brown, yeah.
Was it
He was
Willie Brown?
Willie Brown, yes.
Willie?
She
what?
Was, she was sleeping with Willie Brown. That's how she got to the top.
Like old guy Willie Brown?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, they're the left are a bunch of glory whores. It is what it is. They will whore themselves out for anything.
First of all, that surprises you. Number two, it's disgusting.
Shocking that it surprises him because that's what the left does. So I don't see the Kamala Harris. I don't know.
I feel so dirty right now.
It's like a 50-50 shot with her in my book.
I absolutely say she's in. I say she's in more than
Booker.
More of a guarantee than Elizabeth Warren.
You might be right.
Here's why. Elizabeth seems to play the numbers a little bit too, but Kamala, the things she's said and done,
yeah.
when she sat and was so upset in all of those recent hearings and whatever, and you could see the machine making sure that they put those quotes out there.
Oh, yes.
And the media loves her, right? So they keep putting the stuff out there.
Right.
I think that's your field. There will be some black horse or dark horse candidates.
Well, I'll tell you who that's going to be. The dark horse candidate's going to be Bloomberg. He's going to sell his business.
Yes, Bloomberg's absolutely in.
He's selling. I saw an article, I believe yesterday. He is selling his. How old is Bloomberg?
170.
70.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the. I think he's the guy the left looks at and says he's our Donald Trump.
Right.
On the left. And
Which
he's
is
a
amazing
moderate, and he was
because he's been a Republican at times, but the guy is again the progressive Republican. That's who he is.
Yes.
And there's we could spend an hour talking of Bloomberg's failures.
Oh yes,
as a legend.
But he's also a billionaire.
Right.
I mean, the guy is a billionaire. You got to give him to the fact. I mean, it's not easy to go out and be a billionaire.
Well, and to prove our point that he's running for president, he, like you said, he's selling some of his businesses.
Yep.
He is positioned all kinds of things, money, his little organization.
Yep.
You know, his every town mayors against guns or whatever that thing is.
Yes.
This last election, they spent gobs and gobs of money on candidates and issues that have nothing to do with guns.
Yep.
All it is his little organizing for America.
Yeah.
Community organizing.
Right, community. He got people all ginned up on the anti-gun stuff. They donate money. He gets to use that money wherever.
By the way, Kamala Harris got to Congress on a Lewinsky scholarship.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pink Floyd.
That's not untrue.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, and this is what the left does, though. The left, they go after Trump so hard because Trump was a billionaire.
Right.
And Trump did not, if you think about what Donald Trump did, he didn't position his finances or himself to run for president. He didn't care.
Right.
But if you look, you just said it, every Democrat will position their resume, their finances, their businesses, their entire life for one reason, and that is public office. They will make that resume. They will make those tax returns. They will make it look squeaky clean. And what have we seen for 2 years? We've got to see Donald Trump's tax returns. They're all mad about the emoluments clause and that he's making money. He's a billionaire. When did we stop celebrating success in this country?
Who else? Is there any Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Kanye, anybody out there like that that's going to run?
The celebrity, Oprah, maybe.
No.
I think Oprah's done.
You know, she's a billionaire. Why set that aside? She doesn't need it.
She doesn't need it. Yeah.
The Rock may do it.
Maybe.
He may.
And that could also be 4 years from now.
Yeah, and he's not an older guy either. I don't know of a bona fide celebrity.
I think you're missing the big one.
Who's that?
Who?
Can't believe it. Really?
Yeah.
Beto.
Oh, yeah, we forgot.
We did.
Beto's in.
It's
Absolutely.
Obama Light.
Right.
Or the vanilla Obama.
Wait a minute. I thought Obama was the vanilla Obama.
Well,
Beto's the French vanilla.
Oh, very
good. Big difference.
All right.
Big difference.
All right, Matlock coming up immediately following this broadcast, a half hour from right now on MoJo 50.
Glory whore, in other words.
By the Numbers with Andrew Coppins is powered by TarRiverArms.com. They've revolutionized online firearm sales with high-resolution pictures, 3D imaging, and the best prices. How much will you save? Find out at TarRiverArms.com. That's TarRiverArms.com.
Today's number is 50, as in 50% of the migrant caravan are single adults. We've been told time and again by the media that this is a group of desperate women and children, yet nearly half of the actual group of migrants in Mexico right now are there by themselves. That certainly puts a different light on this group than the mainstream media has been wanting to tell us. It's also a fact that even MSNBC has had to recently admit. NBC reporter Gadi Schwartz admitted on air twice last week that he has seen more men than women and children just in the Tijuana camp. But he backed that observation up with numbers, releasing an official breakdown of the demographics on his Twitter feed. Those numbers came out to over a 3-to-1 ratio of, you guessed it, single men to women and children. It's a miracle that anyone in the mainstream media even bothered to do that kind of digging. But the problem is that outside of conservative media outlets, it's a number that no one wants to touch. Another number to know about the migrant caravan is 27,000. That's the amount of dollars spent every day by the government of Tijuana housing and caring for the caravan as it's stuck in the border city. How much can the government already strapped for cash continue to spend? Will the federal government in Mexico help Tijuana out, or will the locals continue to bear the burden for the caravan that a growing and vocal minority want nothing to do with? The ramifications of this caravan on Mexican citizens is the real untold and scary story of this entire caravan saga. This has been By the Numbers. I'm Andrew Coppins, and you can follow me on Twitter at The Coppins Show.
Okay, so, I guess it's breaking news, but it's still kind of speculation at this point. So, soon to be breaking news.
Yeah, according to CNN, John Kelly is expected to resign as White House Chief of Staff in the coming days. They haven't given a specific target date. This, according to, they say, two sources familiar with what's going on. They say that apparently Kelly and Trump are essentially not getting along. And it's a mutual divorce, it looks like.
Is that a problem that he has had so much turnover in his cabinet? Do you see that as a problem?
I don't. No, I think this president has very specific ways that he likes to do business, and I think that probably what happens is a lot of these people who have been around political circles have a way that they like to do business, and that is not the way that Trump does business.
I would say that's probably pretty accurate. And the other thing is, too, a lot of them, not so much John Kelly, a little bit, others want to do things as DC does things.
Right.
And that's not, I think it's bad. DC is broken. We know that. But there is okay, even if you're ideological and you have different whatever, you still have to kind of do this or play that game.
But
that's not what he wants to do.
And I don't think that's what Trump is doing.
Right.
Exactly.
So even though they may agree with certain things and whatever, because it would be interesting to go through the history of his companies and see how many high-level managers he fired. What was the average length of time they worked for him? Did he have this level of turnover? Wouldn't that be interesting to see the comparison?
I would imagine he's tough to work for. He has a specific way he likes to do things, and probably if you're getting things done, he is speculation, but I would say if you're getting the job done, he probably leaves you alone. I don't know that he's a guy that micromanages. You've got to do it. You got to get it done, but you have to follow these steps to get it done.
Yeah.
He's a smart guy, seems to be anyway. If you get the job done, he's not going to question you. And if you're not getting the job done, that's when he steps in.
I wish we would use this as because the left questions this constantly, the media. Trust me, when you see Kelly, if he gives his resignation, they'll pull up the list of how much turnover, right? Which has been, it's been pretty high. But they'll tell you, they'll report it in such a way to automatically make it sound like it's unstable and bad. I mean, they reported it when everybody else has left. Has the government stayed intact?
Yes.
Has he continued to get things done? Maybe not that you like, but his agenda.
Yes.
Has he governed?
Yes.
Is the military still in operation? Are we still secure? Are the lights still on?
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. So, okay, maybe they don't like the turnover and maybe there are other things, but there's no obvious problem. It's just a lot of turnover.
Obama got a lot of things done, too. He not necessarily, again, things that we liked, but he got a lot of things done.
Right. So, is the turnover by itself a problem?
No.
It can signal instability, but it may actually be a good thing.
Yes.
If you're not, don't we on the right believe in accountability?
Yes.
If you're not doing the job and he's like, you got to go, isn't that accountability?
Exactly.
Now, it could show you that somebody is unstable as a president and crazy, but Brad, wouldn't there be more obvious failures then?
Yeah, if you bring in people and every other week you're getting rid of somebody that you just brought in the week before, if you've got a turnover rate of 300% in one particular position, then there's probably an issue with the leadership.
You got to double bell that one for.
Yes, exactly.
But no, I would say even that, isn't it only a problem if it's a problem?
Yeah. Yes.
And so what you'd have to do is show effects from that turnover, and you'd say, "Oh my gosh, the Secretary of Defense position, the turnover has been incredible, and guess what? The military's not getting this and this, and our troops, and oh my gosh, we're not safe."
Right. Yeah. That's when it turns into a problem. That's when it becomes a problem. It's interesting.
Like, my friend Adam will often say, when referring to nepotism,
right?
Because nepotism is only a problem.
Isn't a problem
until it's a problem, right?
Right, and that's the issue.
Okay,
which is strange that the president hasn't and he's had the opportunities to fix the VA. But that's the one area that he has not for some reason.
Well, and what have I explained? I got to go and look the story up again. He fired people from the VA.
Oh, that's right. And they rehired.
And they rehired him because they sued. They said, I don't even know what they sue on. I mean, it's union stuff. He didn't have cause. We know that there were protections in place from getting rid of government employees,
which is
and that's
stunning.
what's allowed so many VA employees that were bad. Granted, there are some good ones, to keep their jobs, even though they actually literally killed veterans. Okay, how come they kept their jobs throughout the Bush administration, Obama, and years past as well? Because they couldn't fire them. So Congress actually managed to make some changes in the law, so it was easier to fire. When they passed the card, what do they call it, where you could get your health care elsewhere? The Freedom Card, is that what it was? There were parameters, but they did make it a little bit easier for veterans to get health care outside of the VA, where the VA still pays for it.
Right.
The choice card, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, as a part of that, they said
Freedom Card.
Okay. They have to we have to hold people accountable. There are still too many protections in place for those people. The argument is, well, if you don't have those protections in place, what'll happen is it'll become a spoils system. Spoils system prior to the, I'm going from memory here, Chester A. Arthur administration was this. Hey, we got a new president, and he fires everybody that works for the federal government, and replaces them with people he likes. Now, we have a little bit of that with those appointed positions, right? We have a little bit of that. Paybacks. But if you are a manager, a mid-level employee, you still have your job when the next guy comes in, and that's where the union and these protections. And people would say, isn't that a good thing? First of all, it keeps our government stable even though the next guy comes in. True. But think about this. Would we ever, as a country, at this point, with, what is it, 1 million point something, into the millions of federal government workers.
Just crazy.
Would we allow a new president to come in and fire everybody across the board with that level of upheaval?
No.
And then have to hire all of those people back?
No.
Logistically, we don't even, often presidents don't even get all of the judicial positions filled because it has to go through the Senate approval, whatever. They don't even get that done. We're not going to do that.
He still has President Trump still, if I'm not mistaken, isn't it 100?
Oh yeah,
positions he still hasn't filled 2 years in.
Of course.
So
we're not going to do that. And if you're doing your job in today's world, you're going to keep your job. That's fine. But the spoils system, I mean, I recognize the problems with it as I just laid out. But if your only answer is, well, we need these protections, and then you're killing veterans and you can't be fired,
right?
This is a problem.
Yeah, it's the strength is the weakness thing.
So. Back to is it a problem if he has this much turnover in the cabinet? You would have a lot of people on the left say, well, Doc, the reason it's not a problem and you haven't seen more problems, more fallout from all of this change is our current system. There are, deputies in place and deputies under them and managers and all of these good workers that are there that prevent all of those disastrous things from happening, even though the whims of the president, are causing these problems. Okay. Well, what that means is your claims that it's a problem don't count.
Right.
Because you've just said the reason it's not worse is because of all those. Well, they're in place. Then shut up about this being a problem.
Yeah.
You can't have it both ways, folks. Sorry.
But that's the deep state. Those that group of employees who are there for eternity,
right? That
becomes an organization unto itself, and that's the deep state.
And you're right. The thing that I've hated about the deep state
Deep Space is worse. It's much colder.
Deep Space Nine, though,
that wasn't bad. It could have used a little work, but
you didn't even watch all those.
Not all of them. I didn't like them.
You didn't watch any of Next Generation.
I watched a few. Encounter at Farpoint, not bad.
That was the first one.
I watched a few.
That's one. Did you watch it 3 times?
I may have. I love that one where the Enterprise and that.
That's all of them.
The alien and that other ship.
That's all of them.
Yeah,
that's all.
That was the best one.
The problem with the deep state discussion is it becomes conspiracy theory-esque.
For reasons that, yes. I mean,
if you look at the deep state not as the extreme conspiracy Hollywood movie of people in secret layers underground meeting that are pulling the strings and you've never heard of these and all of that.
Right.
Yeah, it gets a little bit nutty.
It can.
But instead of realizing a huge portion of the deep state, and you separate this from the rest, is just the system that's in place that protects the system.
Right.
You know that exists.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, it could be worse. It's a little frustrating. I'd like to know what else is attached to it, of course. But the deep state of the people that are in place that protect the system is a big enough problem, is the biggest problem.
The irony of it all, the same people who complain about big business and corporations
are fine if it's government.
Yes, and what you have is a huge corporation in the staffing of government that has remained in place for years and years and years.
You have there, once again, one of those, A or B, they make us choose. Left or right, black or white, up or down. Do you want the corporations to have that level of control over people, or do you want government?
Right.
Because people elect government, but you don't elect corporations, Brad.
Well,
so do you want government?
And we don't elect those people who are necessarily the employees for life.
Right. And by the way, you do elect corporations. You elect them with your dollars.
Yeah.
So do you see what I'm saying? They force us into this. I don't support the cronyism of corporate America.
Right.
Capitalism, fine.
Well, at least corporations make something. The government doesn't make anything.
And people on the left who defend government, do you think that level of control is fine as long as it's the government? Remember I said, I'm not a globalist and I'm not a nationalist. Gun to the head, I'm going to take nationalist.
Sure.
But it's got huge failures as well. But, there might be something else. It's called the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
I say that as generically, meaning you and I have personal freedoms are the answer to that. And the same thing with this. I'm tired of being forced into the corporate America or big government.
Right.
I don't want either if the corporate America is filled with cronies. They can use their money to influence any way they want as long as it doesn't go against those capitalist principles or violate the law or infringe my personal freedoms.
Remember walking through D.C., and I would say most of the country has not seen D.C. The majority of Americans have not been to D.C.
Yeah, I mean, if you're east of the Mississippi, certainly in the Northeast, Great Lakes region, a lot of us take, 8th grade field trips. Did you take them when you were in California?
No.
Okay.
Well, we took field trips, but obviously not to D.C.
Okay.
But
and then those that have been may have only gone in 8th grade.
Right. So when you walk through as a tax-paying adult, and you start walking by buildings that are ornate and marble, obviously expensive buildings. Remember the Department of Labor Statistics building.
Yeah.
What in the hell do they need? I mean, that building was huge.
By the way, that's actually one of the more known agencies.
And it's what are they doing in there? What are they doing? Why does a statistic? I'm sure that somebody can list off all the crap they do. But good grief, the government has become so large.
Well, and when you walk through D.C., to your point, it's filled with these buildings and agencies you've never heard of.
Mm-hmm.
It's way too ornate and taxpayer dollars wasted.
Mm-hmm.
And then, all of those museums and monuments, those are all free.
Right. Well, yeah, ain't nothing free.
No, it just means our taxpayers both pay for those. So anybody that goes doesn't have to pay.
Right.
The problem with that becomes, what if you've never been to D.C.?
Yeah, you're paying for it anyway.
Right. Mm-hmm. But those people that live near D.C. that would likely go more often get an advantage. Is that fair? Is that equal?
No.
No. pay to play, baby. And then, so yeah, and when you go through D.C. and you see the amount of construction in and around D.C., even during the lean times, during the economic slump, during the Obama administration, when we had such high unemployment, economic stagnation, no construction, I took my then probably 12-year-old son to D.C. We're walking down the street, and he goes, wow, there's a lot of construction cranes here. And I stopped, and I said, yes, there are. And now here's a teachable moment.
Yeah.
Do you know why there's so many? Because he's from Cleveland. Ain't a whole lot of construction cranes in Cleveland.
Right.
Not by comparison. I go, do you know why there are? And he goes, no, why? I said, because it's government. All of D.C. is about government. This is where the money is, and they're going to spend it on themselves. So in Cleveland, they're not spending it there. And when the economy's bad, that doesn't affect government. The economy affects corporations.
Right. And well, and don't get me wrong, they have very important buildings in D.C., like the Post Office Museum. I mean, we can't, you know,
I had
you
to
laugh,
walk
but
through.
you
I had
just,
to walk through.
If you don't, I mean, what is a country without the museum for the post office?
Here's the thing. Isn't the post office already a museum?
Yes.
Every branch.
It's, I mean, and that, remember how nice that building was inside? Marble columns and 40-foot ceilings and paintings and...
So another teachable moment is what's going on with John Kelly today. This is a teachable moment about the president's cabinet and the need for the cabinet. Number one, if you have all those deputy secretaries, and remember the president's cabinet originally, especially those extended members, were about being advisors.
Right.
And it's morphed more so into you head up that department.
Right.
It's not so much, well, Mr. President, let me give you some advice here because I'm an expert in this field. Because the president Obama had czars and they have presidential advisors. That's a whole other thing. It's the head of those departments. You've already got deputies and all this. What do we have all them for? And maybe we go ahead and scale back the cabinet anyways and some of these departments. There are absolutely full departments of the government that should go away. The Department of Education absolutely should go away at the federal level.
Yeah. Why is the federal government in the education business?
I would even say the Department of Energy could go away with the exception maybe of a couple of little pieces of it.
The whole government system has grown. It's bloated. We spend far too much money. We can't afford it.
The Labor Department?
You're never getting rid of that one.
Why? What is... See, isn't that good? The Labor Department, Brad? What the hell's a Labor Department?
I mean, women need that. When they go into birth, you can't have birth
The
without
Labor Department isn't about making sure there's enough jobs in America or a business-friendly environment. It's not about making sure people's rights are not violated. You got the Justice Department for some of that stuff. The Labor Department is the labor unions having a seat at the president's table.
Yes. You're never getting rid of the Labor Department. Ever.
The Department of Energy, the EPA. The Department of Energy, by the way, is not a, hi, we got all the captains of industry, of the energy industry. No, it is leftists, regulators. The EPA, Department of Energy, Department of Education, Department of Labor. Those are all so leftists that focus on those specific issues. Unions can control the federal government. That's the entire thing.
Which is why they will never go away.
No, of course not. Oh my gosh, I forget to tell people about Tar River Arms. Can you tell them about Tar River Arms?
Absolutely. If you haven't been to Tar River Arms yet, do not go and look at the H&K SP5. Do not, whatever you do, look at that. Because
why are you going to buy it?
Because I'm still, every day that it's there is one more day that I go, okay, that means God wants me to have that gun. And it is an awesome gun. It looks so cool. And the reason it looks so cool is I can turn it around in 360 degrees and see this bad boy from every angle. First of all, Tar River Arms is America's first virtual gun store. They're doing this like no one has ever, never sold guns online before. I've never seen anything like it. You can take a look at these guns from literally every angle. They have set up a special camera system. They take these photos, and you can sit there and you can spin them around. You can make them. You can look them from the top, from the bottom, from the back, the whole 9 yards. And not only that, once you decided that you like a particular gun, look at the price, and it'll absolutely stun you. And even stun guns. It'll absolutely stun you at how much money you can save. With this particular gun, the retail price is up there. It's about $3K. You can get it for $26.99, $2,700. This is a really nice.
You know what's
pistol.
lost in the whole gun thing, and I hate that. Well, why do you need that gun? If you believe in freedoms, it's not about need.
It's a want.
I will choose for myself.
Yeah.
But you know what's lost in it? In the debate of, well, I'm a sports shooter or hunting or defense. You know what? Guns be a lot of fun.
Yeah, they are. They're a lot of crossbows are fun too.
Knives are fun.
Yes, they are.
Fishing is fun.
All of these things are fun.
Wrenches are fun.
Yes, they are. Especially when you do that little thing with the wrench that perhaps look.
You know what's really fun? The open face spanner wrench.
I tried a closed face once, and
it is spanner, right?
It is spanner. Yeah, closed face is you have to relax.
Yeah,
I'm just going to leave it at that. The thing is, if you go to Tar River Arms, you're going to find out the deals you can get, and not only that, but with the shipping to your local FFL, you can save on things like that. They package things together, cases and scopes. It's all about customer service. You can buy a gun anywhere.
TarRiverArms.com. That's TarRiverArms.com. Real quick, we got to remind people about the tour.
The MoJo 5050
How people can
tour.
find out about it. Would you let them know?
MoJo5050tour.com is the website that you want to head to for that. We're going to, against the advice of most of our friends and family, we're going to cross the country in a bus for 50 days and visit 50 states. We were first going to do 57, but that just didn't seem doable. So we're going to stick to the 50 states on a 50-day tour. And this is to do two things, really. We want to get the word out about MoJo 50, but more importantly, we want to see some changes with the way veterans are treated in this country. So we're partnering up, and the list is not complete yet as to all of the different veterans charities that we're going to be partnering with. But if you go to MoJo5050tour.com, you can learn not only about the tour and the different tentative stops, which could change with regard to where specifically in any given state we're going to be, but it will also list the charities that we are planning to partner up with this on, and it's a way for us to get out and meet you. More importantly, for you to see how absolutely stunningly good looking we are in person. And by we, I mean Ron Phillips.
So the bottom line is go to the website.
Yeah,
find out.
You can find everything. All of the information is right there, and the tour is at this point scheduled to begin May 27th of next year. And remember, next year is only what, 19 days away?
By the way, I've been a little under the weather here. Before we wrap the show up, I have to admit something that I kind of screwed up here.
You're homosexual?
That's not a screw up.
Could
Why
be.
would you go that that's a screw up?
No, I didn't hear the screw up part first. You just admitted.
Okay, fine. That's either I or you forgot to tell people about Era Capital Management. So I'm kind of cramming it in here. Era Capital Management is waiting for you to check them out at eracapitalmanagement.com. It's getting towards the end of the year, so if you have a 401k, which is much better than the 501k or the 601k or the 401j, that you need to take control over, get a better investment. You left it in an old company. IRA, Roth IRAs, traditional IRAs, rollover IRAs. Bottom line, just contact Era Capital Management. Era Capital Management, LLC is a registered investment advisor, and you can see their website for more disclosures. But the bottom line is these people can help. Even if you think you don't have a lot of money.
Right.
Because that's always the argument. Well, I don't have enough money to invest or need an investor.
Managing money is hard. Managing money takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of knowledge. And if you don't have a lot of either, it would be foolhardy to try to manage your own portfolio.
Check them out today. EraCapitalManagement.com. EraCapitalManagement.com.
What do you mean it's last call?
Oh! Righty, that is it, ladies and gentlemen, the end of your Daily Mojo. But before we go, as always, let's find out what we learned today. We learned meth is less of a problem if you already have bad teeth and low energy.
And if you're 73.
I said bad teeth and low energy.
The same thing, you're right.
We learned pro criminal tip number 4812. It is cool to see a sting in action, but not when you are the target of the sting.
It's better to see it from the outside in.
We learned that vanilla Obama was Obama. And we learned the potential for comedy skyrockets when news stories contain the words homemade, experimental, ice pick, karma, gone wrong. Any of those skyrockets.
Yes.
Brad Staggs, what, if anything, did you learn today?
Well, I learned that there is nothing good that comes from bleeding out of your holes. All of them.
Wouldn't agree.
Nothing. I learned that words matter, and in the future, diddling a 14-year-old sounds so much better than statutory rape.
That's true.
You know, especially if you're in the sting.
You're right.
And finally, I learned if you're leaving a trail of charred skin and blood, you're doing it wrong.
And you're going to be easy to find.
Yeah, you really are.
Easier to find.
Yes, you are.
Bradley J. Staggs, what, if anything, did the listeners learn today?
Franklin Horst over on the we learned that speaking of painful vaginal maintenance, did you see Avenatti's alimony payments? Hey-oh, see what you did there. Jeff A., it's not funny if you're in the middle of it. Jeff A. in Virginia is Brad Staggs is always on the lookout for a future former Mrs. Staggs. That is absolutely false. Absolutely.
Nope.
Unequivocally false. Over on the Twitter, let's be frank in PA. Headline when Booker pulls out, Departicus. Thank you. And that is so true. Pink Floyd learned, Matt's right, by law in America, family court judges dutifully divide everything equally, then give both halves to the woman.
That's a great point. My frustration with that is
so depressed.
We used to do this dance, okay? Go ahead and
that's why you got divorced.
No, we're women. Okay, you're going to get the benefit of the doubt. Moms get the kids and the alimony, and dad just have to do this because that was society. And the trade-off was men got to ogle women and slap them on the fanny and drink in the office.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now we got rid of all that side, but I still get screwed at court. Okay,
all right, and.
Yeah.
Again, that's
right.
Shadow learned a homemade ice pick because they're so expensive at Walmart. Right? Yeah, why would you bring a homemade ice pick with you? And Jack Hole Angry Beaver learned I find flirting with cops always gets me off.
Wow.
Of the ticket.
Nothing like a man in a uniform.
Of the ticket. And finally, over on the Facebook, no, can't read that one right there. Scott Grimes, he used to work in D.C. He's still showering to try to get the scum off of him.
I see. I didn't get the new numbers on procrastination. We'll do them on Monday. What else do we have coming up?
Oh, on Monday.
Sounds great.
Yes.
What does Matlock have
that
coming up?
Huge
All of that?
Yes.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
Remember, what is Matlock wearing today?
That little skirt that when it's too short, we measured it. Remember
that's
that?
right.
It doesn't cover everything.
Remember, your Daily Mojo is today wait, let me look at his shirt. Ron production.
Ron Phillips.
I don't think it's Phillips. It just says Ron.
Ron Phillips.
It's a one name. He's like
no, he's
Madonna.
not like
Cher.
He's nothing like
just
Madonna.
Ron
or Cher.
Sic Semper Tyrannis. Good night, Steve Cannon. Wherever you are. On Young. Now you go home.
Very good. You made it.
Barely.
You made it.
This is the Sedition